FHS Network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today.
Proud to be a Cumulus media station.
Even if they're not that proud of us.
10 a.m. in the morning, she's 4 o'clock in the morning.
Just like down.
Now.
It's 7 a.m.
It's 7 a.m. Time for the opening drive.
Voted the best sports show in New Mexico.
For 5 years running. It's the OD in the AM with Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck.
Off and running round 2 of the NBA playoffs, which should be interesting as well. Suns hold court at the Footprint. Did you know it was called the Footprint Center? I'm not sure I did. You probably did. I'm not sure you did. And the Heat beat off a Embiidless 76ers team. Good morning to you. Merry Tuesday. 'Tis your opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. What's up?
What it do? Good morning.
Who's the new chick over there?
What do you mean the new chick? Come on.
Look at that.
Newlywed.
That's what I meant.
Murray.
Yeah.
Newlywed.
What's the ring look like? Let me
Missed
can
you
I-
guys.
You-
I know
you-
you
you
can't really
blinging?
see it.
Yeah, you're kind of blinging. No, I see
No,
that.
it's
purple
it's,
tinge?
it's yes, of
course it does.
Of course it does. Missed you guys. I'm tired.
Welcome home.
But best week ever.
Well, good. First of all, if you weren't tired, I'd be a little disappointed. I'm not gonna lie to you. Draft, wedding, everything was good.
Yes, everything was great.
What was the highlight? The draft or the wedding?
The wedding, of course.
I hope so.
But the
Good
Vikings
answer.
did pretty. I'm not upset like the rest of the Viking fan base, but
What's to be upset about?
they always find something to be upset about. But best day weekend ever. Just 5 days in Vegas is a very long time.
Well, 5 days, and then that mass of humanity. So where were you in the mass of humanity? Like, did you
I
have
was all
special media area? or
Yeah,
were
there
you-
was media rooms, and then I wanted to interact with fans too. But there was this huge like fan experience, which was so cool. Like all the way from like holding Lombardi trophies to trying on rings to I don't know. It was a huge part. There's bands playing, and then there's like media rooms, and then there's a lot of players you could meet, and it was a wild time. And the weather was perfect.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. Well, welcome home, and congratulations on your nuptials.
Thank you.
How's Mr. Murray doing?
He's tired. We're all tired, but in the best way possible.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's good. All right, we're here for you today. Let me give you phone numbers to get in. 505-246-0610. That's how to get to us today. 505-246-0610. Emails will come in this morning. Jeff at sportsanimalabq.com. JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. So are we done at 9:45 today? Is that what I understand?
You got some day baseball in OKC.
Yes, OKC, 9:45 pregame starts.
So Josh coming on with us at 9:30 to talk a little ball?
Yes, he is.
All right, we'll open up a series with the Dyers again, and so Josh Sushan's with us then. Hockey playoffs start last night. How about the Kings getting a little bit
Okay.
last night over Edmonton, huh?
Okay,
Kings,
LA
4?
stealing one.
That's right. That's a big win for the LA Super Kings. 4-3, St. Louis 4-0 over Minnesota. Toronto beat the two-time defending champs 5-0 in Game 1. They beat Tampa Bay. And Carolina 5, Boston 1. That opens up your Stanley Cup playoffs. And then in the NBA, and JJ, I turned down a ticket to the Suns last night. So I got a buddy over here. I'm in Scottsdale for league meetings, and I got a few stories for you, actually. But I was supposed to have a meeting with a buddy who's also a client at the New Mexico Bowl, and he sends me a text, "Hey, my man, sorry. The Suns, they scheduled it's Game 1. I'm taking my staff to go to see the Suns Mavericks." I'm like, cool. No, have fun. We'll get together on Tuesday. And about, 5 o'clock, he's like, "Hey, my man." He's my man guy. And he says one guy can't use his ticket. Can you use it? And it starts at 6:30, and I had to go to the Mountain West dinner last night. It was going to be pretty hard to justify this trip if I blew off what I came over here for. So I'm like, well, if you got no one else to take it, I'll get over there by halftime. But I wanted someone else to use it. So I did. We were talking about it yesterday, right? When I was sitting with you, should I go to the Suns game didn't. 121-114, they win. DeAndre Ayton at 25-8, Devin Booker 23-9-8. And they were up most of the day, and it got interesting, probably a little more interesting than it should late. And Luka's pretty good, 45 points, not enough for the Mavericks.
Yeah, Phoenix went juggernaut mode. They led start to finish, and this was a game. The final score looks a lot closer than the actual game was. This is the Phoenix team that we expect to be playing the Warriors for the conference championship. And there's just not enough around the edges. Dallas, they played hard, but Monty Williams said it after the game. He's like, all right, Luka scored 45 points. They had 16 assists as a team. We weren't that worried. Like, Luka got his, but no one else was able to go off. Look at, two other players in double figures, but when you have a double-digit lead for most of the game, you're in the lead for the entire game. Now, that is the Phoenix Suns team that a 40 or 50-point outing from Luka Doncic isn't even going to beat right now.
So I was watching one of the local newscasts yesterday, and they had the guy from Dallas come on, and the guy, I don't remember who it was, but it was a Dallas sportscaster, and he was saying for the Mavs to have a chance, Luka's got to go for 35 plus every night, and then maybe they have a chance. By the way, he can. He went for 45 last night, and it wasn't enough. Like, this is, it's funny how you get into a market and you start listening to what people are saying. I mean, I'm listening to people tell me this should be a sweep. I don't buy the sweep. I can see 6. I can even see 5. Dallas wins a couple of games here, don't they?
I think this could be a gentleman's sweep, but Dallas is going to get a game. But this is just what we're seeing, this Phoenix team. And even Golden State in their comeback without Draymond Green, there's another level for these two franchises that no one else is at right now. And Phoenix, you look at the way they play offensively, defensively, the efficiency is unbelievable. And when you put it all together, I think Devin Booker coming back and looking so good so fast, that's just the unknown. We don't know. We hear muscle injury, hamstring injury. How long is it going to be? He was 7-20 from the floor, but he played 38 minutes. That's coming off of 32 minutes in his first game back when they closed out the first-round series. He's on track. He had 9 rebounds, 8 assists. They're locked in. They're ready to go. They're clicking at the highest level.
Other game, you got Tyler Hero coming off the bench, 25 points for the Heat, doing what they've got to do, and basically probably wore down the 76ers yesterday. A 76ers team that's trying to hold on and maybe steal one and hope that they get Joel Embiid back at some point. JJ, this has gone from Joel Embiid's out for the rest of the playoffs to Joel Embiid is out for 5 games to now I'm hearing he could be back after 2 games. Well, if they can hang around for 2 games, maybe even steal one, then we got a series. I don't know what he's going to look like when he comes back. Is it a facial fracture? Is that what I understand on Joel Embiid?
Yeah, orbital fracture.
That's a real thing.
It's a very real thing.
Yeah.
I don't see how Philadelphia steals one. I don't see how they stay afloat in this series long enough to even get Joel Embiid a couple of good games. And it's pretty simple. Philadelphia is not a good enough team to lose their best player and then find a way to make it work. They don't have anyone else. Like, James Harden's not that dude. He's a supporting cast player that's getting paid like a superstar. Maxi's not that guy yet. And it was the easiest bet on the board. You knew that Philadelphia wasn't going to have a chance. Kept it close for 2 quarters, and the Miami Heat blew them out. Because here's the difference. Kyle Lowry's not the best player in the Miami Heat. And you can easily make up his minutes with a Tyler Hero off the bench who's done it all season long, the guards that they have, versus losing Joel Embiid. So I don't see how Philadelphia makes this competitive at all. Even when Joel Embiid comes back, is that new busted face, concussion-like symptoms, he's not beating this Heat team by himself.
No, I don't think so either. I mean, would you get 27 out of Harris, Tobias Harris? And when it's all said and done, how much heat, I think quite a bit, does James Harden take on this? Because he was brought there to put him over the top.
I think he's going to take some heat, but I also think the reality is he's fallen off faster than people have realized. Is that he is a supporting cast player instead of being that number 2 guy. And we weren't ready for that this season, with him in the Brooklyn Nets and the Big 3. It's still a trade if you're Philadelphia. That I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, because at least you got a dude that's going to play. But he's not the guy that can take over games anymore. He's just not. He
And
can get you a few good minutes, but James Harden, I thought maybe one, but even watching last night, I don't think James Harden has it in him to take a game from the Heat.
Yeah, I don't know that I think that either. And just watching, like, I'm surprised at how rapid that was. That he's just become another dude, right?
Yeah. And you talk about the aggressiveness, but does he even have that aggressiveness? You know what Joel Embiid was talking about? He was 5 of 13. Now they're going against the best or the second best defense in the Eastern Conference. The Heat in Milwaukee, what they do defensively to teams. But still, the James Harden we think of is a guy that should be able to get his against anyone. And that's not the case.
No, it's not. All right, 505-246-0610. You can come in and we can continue yesterday's conversation if you want. It's funny. The NIL stuff is I had conversations, JJ, with a number of athletic directors yesterday, with people from the conference office, and it was in large part what we said about NIL. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to talk about, but nobody, you can't solve anything. There was a couple television execs. I was talking about actually your buddy Brett McMurphy last night. Same conversation, right? Everybody's talking about what's going on with NIL, kind of like we did yesterday. But nobody knows what, like everybody's, well, not everybody. Some people kind of have an idea, kind of. But how will it be implemented? Like, this has been a really big talking point. Just kind of, outside of the meetings, in the hallways, around the place. So I want to get into that a little bit more if you want. 505-246-0610. You can watch the show. Adrian's producing for you on ProView Networks. It's on our Facebook page, the OD and the AM. You can watch it on Comcast Channel 26. You can call the show, talk to A. Marie, 505-246-0610. That's also the text line. Emails, Jeff or JJ at sportsanimalabq.com, and follow JJ on the Twitter. It's a terrific follow. It's _JJ Buck. We got some big NFL news to talk about as well. We'll hit that. Thank you for being with us this morning on the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Mix a little sports analysis, pop.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Industries is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. The Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco. For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment.
Adam Gay. A Night of Champions squat mark. 565 pounds with a 610 pound squat, JJ. A 600, that's as in AM 610. 610 pound squat. One of 20 football players to compete in the program. 8 players in the clean, 6 players in the bench and squat, and they had just a big night out there. And congratulations to them. 505-246-0610. Good morning to you. So I get to town, and do you do this? Do you? I mean, I love me some music, but I always kind of try to get a taste of some sports talk in other towns. Do you do that when you travel?
Yeah, if I get a chance.
Yeah. So they were all fired up. I was listening to Phoenix area radio yesterday. Everybody fired up about they thought the Cardinals had a good draft. It was game 1 of the Suns. This town was kind of popping. And then the DeAndre Hopkins story broke. And it was like someone stuck a pin in the balloon. It just deflated them. DeAndre Hopkins, the star wide receiver for the Arizona Cardinals, out for the 6 games. He's not going to contest it for violating the substance abuse program in the National Football League, which is huge. And so then, well, did they already know? Is that why they got Hollywood Brown? Well, they would have made the Marquise Brown trade anyway. Hopkins said it was a test back in November. What is this, May? Right? That's 7 months ago. And I guess they've been going through the process, hence why there's not going to be. It's amazing that you can keep that so quiet. But that's why there's going to be no protest on this. That is a huge piece of their puzzle. That is, I think, still one of the best receivers in the National Football League. Wouldn't you say still top 5?
Easy.
Yeah.
Don't forget about Nuke Hopkins just because he was a little banged up last year.
Yeah. And to lose them right after the draft when everybody's excited, right? Everybody feels pretty good about what they've got. Everybody's good about their thing. That was a gigantic deflation.
Hopkins came out and said, I'm very careful about what I put in my body. I would never let my team down. I don't know how this happened. I'm going to get to the bottom of this. But bottom line is the bottom line, and he's out for 6 games.
I'm not worried about this from Arizona.
Really?
At all. You look at how they struggled down the stretch. He had that MCL injury in Week 14. If Kyler Murray can lock back in, be that next level up-and-coming quarterback in this league, I don't know what the schedule looks like yet because it's May 12th, 13th, the NFL schedule
Next
release.
week, yeah.
To figure out what the first 6 games for Arizona looks like. But you can manage, have a good start to the season, keep Hopkins fresh. The 6 games off his legs to start the year, have him back, finish the season strong because his numbers are still. He looks since he's entered the league, he's number 1 in receptions, 1 or 2 in total yards. So if I'm Arizona, if Kyler Murray's that dude, you can get me by 6 games, get Nuke Hopkins back, have him full go down the stretch. Ain't that worried right now.
See, and I look at it the other way. I think, because I've heard that opinion on it. All right, well, at least he'll be healthy the back end of the season, which is a big deal. Arizona historically starts well, especially under Cliff Kingsbury, and so I say historically, under this currently constructed. They start well and fade. And you got to figure in this division, 6 out of their first 17 games, there's going to be a game against the Rams and or the 49ers in there, right? Most likely. I got to believe, and they'll have a cross-country trip. Kyler Murray, to your point, you say get him back on track. I think one of the biggest things to get him back on track is to give him his number 1 weapon. You're taking away his number 1 weapon. I think it's great that you got him Marquise Brown, and Marquise Brown can stretch the field, and I think that's wonderful. But he's not Nuke Hopkins. Chase Edmonds is gone. They're trying to figure out. I think it's a lot bigger than you think. We'll see. But I think it's big for Kyler Murray, who, by the way, has been discontented throughout the offseason and playing the whole pay-me game and stripping his social media. I think it's a bigger thing than you think. We'll see. Because I understand where you're coming from. And there was a part of me initially that said, well, at least he'll be healthy the back end of the season.
Which is, it's an easy thing to assume.
Right.
That just because he didn't play is going to help him. But, for me, is life easier for Kyler Murray with Nuke Hopkins available? Absolutely. But I do still believe that Kyler Murray has those traits to be in the conversation of one of those guys that is pushing that elite bubble in this league. And even without Nuke Hopkins, I think this is his chance early in the season to reassert himself. Refocus over the summer. He's got the contract talks coming up. Arizona has addressed that. So him and his agent shouldn't be that bitter. Go back to camp. Be that leader. Help this team do something big early in the season. And then you get that boost of Nuke Hopkins back. And then everyone is back in on the Cardinals.
Yeah. To me, who's he throwing to? I don't know what A.J. Green's got left. He's got 2 tight ends. Zach Ertz is good. They just drafted the young man out
Trey
of
McBride.
Trey McBride
Proud
out
to
of
be a
Colorado
CSU
State.
Ram.
The first tight end off the board, Colorado State's Ram. He's got Rondell Moore, A.J. Green, Marquise Brown, Andy Isabella, Greg Dortch, Antoine Wesley, Andre Basellia. I mean, you don't got Nuke Hopkins there, man. I hopefully you're right for their case. The running game is James Conner and Eno Benjamin. I think they got, and they're playing in that division. They got to play the Rams. They got to play the Niners. I think it's a bigger deal than you do. I do, but we'll see as it plays out. But man, that's a story now. When you see a bombshell like that, and I was just listening to these dudes melt down. By the way, I mean melt down. There was one dude on the air who was like, "No, oh man," you could hear him just, it's like super fan radio guy. It's probably some former player. I don't even know who it was, but just melting down. So that's a big deal. What did you make of the league now coming up with the Hugh Jackson claims that he was told to tank when he was the head coach of the Browns, that they are to me, there's a difference between unsubstantiated and couldn't be substantiated. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I don't think Hugh Jackson was wrong. They paid me to lose. Yeah, it's called your contract that you took and won 3 games.
3 36-1 was his record.
So you are
wins,
correct, Hugh Jackson. They paid you to lose football games in Cleveland.
So the league said that he initially agreed to meet with their investigators, but ultimately he did not meet with their investigators. So I don't know Hugh Jackson. I always kind of liked him. I know Ned's big on him, right?
They grew up together, so they know each other.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I'm sure he's a good dude. He always seemed like he was a likable guy. I don't know him. But evidently he would not meet with investigators. Now, they had access to public statements and filings that he had previously made because he had testimony prior. But the NFL said that Jimmy Haslam was interviewed. Other current and former members of the Browns organization were interviewed. The Browns also provided documents to the investigators and quote now from the Brown statement. We appreciate the independent investigation led by Mary Jo White and the De Beauvoir team, which brings closure to these allegations that Hugh Jackson publicly recanted shortly after they were made and that they've known all along are categorically false. Well, that's not exactly what they said. As we previously stated, we welcome this investigation because the integrity of our game is something that should not be taken lightly, and an independent review was blah, blah, blah. So Hugh Jackson's done, right?
Yes. Hugh Jackson's never going to be an NFL coach again. Even from the beginning, this didn't make a lot of sense. It felt like he was just trying to piggyback along the stuff that Brian Flores was throwing out there, and it feels like Brian Flores had a lot more legitimate claims, and where he was going with his accusations against the NFL and the franchises, and Hugh Jackson was like, oh, by the way, they tried to get me to lose games. No one had to do anything extra for you to lose games in Cleveland, Hugh.
Yeah, you were doing just fine on yourself.
You were doing fine yourself.
You're on your own. Yeah. Yeah.
And if they wanted to offer you more money to lose games, take it because you weren't winning. Like, sure.
$100,000 a game, I'm losing anyway.
Yeah. I'll take that contract bonus. You usually get bonused for, I don't know, winning a division, going to the playoffs.
Or losing more.
Losing more? Sign me up.
Lose again. We'll give you another $100,000. You lose again. All right, when we come back, I haven't told you this. Guess who I met face-to-face last night? Ooh. A little conversation. I mean, nothing major, but I think you'll get a kick out of it. It's coming up next. It's somebody that let me tell you this. You guys will tell me. Here's going to be your response. Oh, was it like looking in the mirror? That's coming up next. Hey, as we move into the warmer months, the active months, and it's warm here, like 95 or something. Hey, you're going to be moving more. Guys, you ready for it? Are you the best you? If you're not the best you can be, if you're tired too often, maybe dealing with hair loss, weight gain, depression, even erectile dysfunction, NuMale can help you. In fact, NuMale has helped thousands of men all around the country with these exact things, these natural things. Give them a call, 505-652-1688, or visit NuMale, NuMale.com. Making the call sometimes is the hardest part. Don't make excuses. Make the call, because once you do and you visit NuMale, you're going to realize the process is easy, it's comfortable, and it works. Guys, that's the best part about NuMale. It works. Results are real, and men everywhere are feeling better. The number is 505-652-1688. Enjoy being active. Enjoy being you again. NuMale, 505-652-1688, or visit NuMale.com and enjoy being your best you.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit CarCrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated, with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. The Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
For your business or your 610, the sports animal.
All right. Sixers get beat last night by Miami 106-92. Paul Reed says after the game, well, I mean, we just do our thing. Paul Reed plays for the Sixers, and they'll fold. JJ, and they're going to fold. That's what he said. Did you hear his quote? We just got to do our thing and go out there and, like what you expect a guy to say. And he says, and then they'll fold. We can beat this team.
They'll fold.
Okay. They're not folding.
This isn't a card game, bro. Playing basketball.
All right. So last night, kind of back into the night.
What's real quick? Worst post-game quote. That from Paul Reed or head coach Doc Rivers saying on DeAndre Jordan, who is now the Philadelphia 76ers starting center, quote, we're going to keep starting him whether you like it or not. In 17 minutes with DeAndre Jordan on the floor, the Heat scored 50 points.
Ooh.
Is that possible? You know that was possible.
So what was his plus minus?
He was minus 22.
Good Lord.
Like at that point in time, you just have to throw it out the window. I don't care if he's a veteran player. He's done.
What's your option? I mean, honestly, what's his option?
And that's just go with the young Paul Reed, who's extremely confident in the Philadelphia 76ers being able to make the Miami Heat fold.
Well, Paul Reed got you 9 rebounds in 13
down.
minutes. Yeah,
he
got
was
you 9.
actually an effective basketball player.
Yeah,
in the
he got
minutes
you
that
9
he was on the
rebounds.
floor. The James Harden Ben Simmons trade.
Yeah,
the place that the Sixers got gutted the most, they lost Andre Drummond. They lost their backup center. Everyone was talking about Seth Curry and the shooting.
Seth Curry. Yeah.
Well, if you looked at the depth chart behind Joel Embiid, it's that.
Well, you're looking now, right? I mean, you're looking at it now. It's Paul Reed. And look, what he got you 9 rebounds and 13
DeAndre Jordan
minutes.
could barely survive in his prime. It was just because Chris Paul in Lob City was throwing him alley-oops.
Minus 22, JJ. Like okay, Tobias Harris and Maxey were minus 25, but they played 35, 37 minutes. Minus 22 in 17 minutes?
Yes.
Damn. Yeah, that's a problem. But
All right, back to the big news, the big tease.
What was the big? So then back into the night last night. So I'm in Scottsdale. It's league meeting. So the Mountain West is here. The Pac-12 is here. The Big Ten is here. So it's and their coaches are here, and it's one of those, like, if you're starstruck, don't be here, right? Because you're going to walk down, you're going to see a lot of people that you see on TV and coaches. But we were having a drink last night, and I was with a couple buddies, and one of them knows the whole story that people think I look like Mick Cronin. And they're like, "Hey, there's your dude right there, your doppelganger." And I'm like, "Whoa!" So he was talking to Dana Altman, the Oregon coach, and I went over and I introduced myself. I had never met either one of them. Actually, I'd met Dana once before, but it was in passing, and went over and introduced myself to Nick and kind of told him the story, and he just started laughing, right? And Altman got a kick out of it. But was it like looking in the mirror, right? It was. I thought you guys would get a kick out of that because and I told them,
it actually
I told
we
them
needed a selfie.
Well, I told them when it became real is when we're watching a UCLA game and my kid said, "Hey, Dad, what are you doing on TV?" Right? That's when I'm like, damn. And he thought that was cool. He actually was really, really cool. We talked for about 5 minutes and then I left them alone. But yeah, so that happened.
Met your doppelganger.
I thought you guys would get a kick out of that.
It's like, if you need any time off, just give me a call. I'll step in, walk the sidelines for you.
Yeah. His suits are really nice. And
he is
a
still a
shorter
suit
than-
guy. He's one of the
he is a
last
suit guy.
remaining suit guys.
So is it him and
in all of
Rick
basketball.
Pitino and who else? Like, there's not many, right?
No, Jay Wright wasn't even wearing the suits at the end.
Jay Wright wasn't, and not
He
even
was
in the
kinda-
finals.
He was the leader in the clubhouse.
Or the Final Four
for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
the suit
Cronin,
game is gone.
Rick Pitino, I think. And, I mean, maybe there's a few more, but yeah. So,
Mike
yeah, that was
Woodson
a little surreal.
is still a suit guy. Who's your
Is
head
he?
coach?
Indiana? Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
I don't think he's going to be an Indiana coach anymore.
Is he going
Mike
to the
Woodson,
league?
is it?
Going to the NBA?
Where's he?
It might be.
Where's he
I don't know,
going?
that's rumors. I'm starting rumors.
Are there what NBA jobs open? Carolina, James Borrego got fired. We didn't even hit on that. The Albuquerque Academy grad, James Borrego, got fired. Was it Friday?
It was
last week.
It's been a week. It's been a minute.
Yeah. So what else is open in the NBA? I mean, Sacramento's open, right?
When is that job not open?
Well, always. Did you see Mark Jackson is a finalist for that job? Does he ever get another job?
How bad do you want to coach? Because it's an NBA head coaching job.
But
you're looking at the Sacramento Kings, and you are the lead play-by-play analyst on ABC ESPN.
And you're probably
You're
not
gonna
getting that
call
job back.
The NBA Finals. You got Jeff Van Gundy. You got Mike Breen. Bang! That's really hard to give up, man.
Mama,
Even
there
if you
goes
love
that
basketball.
man. Mama, there goes that man.
You are the marquee team.
Look what
There's
Adrian,
Mick Cronin,
look at Adrian's
aka
got up.
Giuseppe.
It was. I'm
gonna
just
crash
glad.
those meetings next year just so I can see that in person.
I'm just glad he got a kick out of it. Right? It's
He wasn't
actually
just
really
immediately like,
funny.
nope, don't see it.
No,
Don't know what you're talking about.
He kind of laughed.
Nope.
Yeah, it was actually kind of cool. And then I asked Dana. I said, "Hey, my nephew's coming up your way. I'm gonna come by and see you. Will you take care of my?" No, I did. Well, I kind of did. It was interesting, man. It was interesting. All right, 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. Your emails come in this morning. Jeff at sportsanimалabq.com, JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. Are you working the text line? I probably should find a way to pull that up here as well. I will find that as well. Hockey started last night. So where are you on the hockey playoffs? Do you I know you dabble in hockey. Oh, you got your abs. Oh, you're all in. You're wearing the
All
abs
in.
today.
Abs Predators. It's going tonight.
So I know we all kind of, you and I, probably you a little more, dabble in the hockey during the regular season, right? It kind of football season happens during hockey, and then it's college basketball, and like I'll catch a game, and I'm not gonna lie, I didn't see a lot of hockey. I saw a few Kings games, but I do get pumped. No, I'm not. I don't even want to. Amory, where are you on the hockey? Do you like the hockey?
I'll watch the Stanley Cup, and I'll watch some of the playoffs. But I dabble too.
Who's your team? Is it the Wild? Who's your team?
It's a gateway sport.
I was telling it is a gateway sport. I told JJ that I was told by my NHL peeps in New York that I should become an Avalanche fan because they have the best fan base.
Well,
in NHL.
And they're really good. And they're really good.
So maybe I'll just jump on board with that.
All right. I mean, do what
Since
you gotta
I'm back in this region.
And the real conversation too about hockey is it's front and center. It's on the 4-letter network. ESPN and ESPN2 4 games each night. They're going to be talking about it. It's going to be on the conscience of the people. So we'll see. Ratings-wise, it has to be up being on the 4-letter network.
I promise it is.
Every sports bar you walk into. What's the first thing you do when you get in your hotel room? I put on ESPN usually.
Find it.
Always. You have to find the channel.
Here we go.
You have to find the channel.
We know it's going to
hit.
hit.
What's on right now.
Yeah, we know it's going to hit differently. And people are going to get more attention this season.
I will tell you, and I know this for a fact because I've been on some of the content strategy meetings, but there's obviously been an emphasis placed at the network on hockey. Once ESPN got the package back, and there's been a concerted effort to talk and put hockey in the forefront. I haven't seen the ratings, JJ. I don't know, but I got to believe. Look, first of all, you can put Leave It to Beaver on ESPN and then put it on NBC Sportsnet, and I mean whatever it is, or put Oprah or put whatever you're going to put. More people are watching ESPN than we're watching the NBC Sports. It was called NBC Sportsnet, right? And it's since folded. Hockey fans are going to go find their hockey, like the hardcore people in hockey markets are going to go find their hockey, right? But for the more casual, if you're just looking, like you said, you just put on, you go into a sports bar, you go into your hotel, you find the default. And then Amory, I've always said ESPN is kind of like the dudes or the part-time bros default, right?
Totally.
That's where's
even
your
when
TV?
I'm home, like I go home, it's always on. It's always on in the background. By the way, the Flyers lost me $2,800.
Whoa, really?
Just to let y'all know. I forgot to mention that earlier.
Or wait, or you didn't win because there's a big difference.
Okay. I did a 10-game parlay, $20 every day I was there. It was a mix of baseball, basketball, and I did the money line. And the Flyers won game 1 out of 10, and the second day off 2,100, the White Sox. I was one game off each day.
So you hit 9 out of 10?
Both in 2 days in a row.
That's spectacular.
The sportsbook girl's like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. It's like the dang Flyers and White Sox.
So let me explain to you the difference between losing and not winning.
Yes, I like this.
You didn't win the $2,800.
No, I didn't.
But if you'd have put $2,800 down, and you were lighter now, then you would have lost. They cost you $20.
That's true. That I didn't win. I like that perspective.
Well, it's 100% right.
But two days in a row.
That sucks, though.
Oh my God!
Sucks.
I'm going down each. I'm like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Yes, yeah. Flyers and White Sox.
So why? Just out of curiosity, 10 games. Why a 10? Why is that?
I don't. 10? I just like if you're gonna gamble, they let you do 15, but I was like, I'll do 10, and I just did 10-game parlays every day.
Were the Flyers your last one?
Yeah.
Oh, if you'd have done 9, you'd have won.
And then the White Sox the day before, but it's okay. It was still fun.
Yeah, you lost $20 though. They cost you 20, not 28.
Yeah, it's fun. And you get 2 free drink tickets every time you bet $20 at the MGM Sports Bet. Just to let everyone know.
Well,
so I didn't really lose at all.
And then you should make separate bets each time. Like if you're going to bet 8 games, you should go up and
totally.
505-246-0610. All right, so are you in on the hockey? Just curious. I tell you this every year. It's worth your watch because it is insanely intense. I'm going to get in a little bit on Judge Chavez stepping down, the Valley coach, long time. He's the first football coach. The first football game I saw when I moved to Albuquerque in '96 was a Judge Chavez coached game, and he's calling it quits. And Oh, you'll talk with Sebastian about that tomorrow when he's on with you. I know that'll be a big topic. Get into the hoops as well. It's the opening drive. Jeff, JJ, A-Marie, and Adrian on 95.9 FM and AM 610 Sports Animal.
Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream Star Stucco, Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream Style Stucco. For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
95.9 FM and AM 610. The Sports Animal.
All right, we had a lot of NIL talk yesterday. I was looking at the text line, and JJ, I'm curious what you think of this opening drive. Jeff Symbieta and JJ Buck. Thanks for being with us on a Tuesday morning. So the text line said, and this came in yesterday, and I don't know if you read this after I had to leave early yesterday. Then I'm sorry, but it says New Mexico State lost Jabari Rice to Texas and Will McNair to Mississippi State to NIL deals, and I don't know the details on that, but I'm gonna have this conversation under the premise that that's true, even though I don't know the details. But it says Greg Heyer is building a program at New Mexico State with junior college transfers who are not accustomed to NIL deals. He's creating the model that all mid-majors will need to turn to. Obviously an Aggie fan. He says Richard Pitino has no clue and is still trying to compete with the big dogs for recruits. So I see where it's coming from. I don't know that I think that's the model. First of all, you're entitled to NIL deals in junior college. You're probably just not getting many. Do you agree with that that's the model? We used to say all the time, well, you don't want to rely on junior college transfers. You can't build that way. You got to have, they're not going to be around for 4 years. Now, I don't know that you recruit anybody with the intent of being around for 4 years.
No, it's 2-year windows. That's what you're looking at. Is you try to get some pieces, maybe a guy you can keep around 3 to 4 years, a developmental player, but it's 2-year spurts now. That's the way it has to be. Just the competitive balance of the game, the way the transfer portal works, the fact that you don't have players on redshirt, so you can't wait around. Like you got to hit on these guys early and to bring them in and have them play right away. The one thing I will push back on is they're not accustomed to NIL deals. Well, if you recruit them to a program like New Mexico State that is winning, they're going to want those NIL deals. Like that's going to be a piece of the puzzle. You can't be like, oh, you're a JUCO guy. You come here. You're not going to get anything because you're a JUCO guy. No. Like, they're going to say, I'm a highly recruited
what do I get?
I'm going to New Mexico State because y'all say we can win. We can get to the NCAA tournament. All right, cool. What's next for me? What's available? So just because they're coming from JUCO doesn't mean that those guys won't be looking for the same thing. Now, the model works right now because Greg Heyer is fresh off a JUCO championship. He's going to have those tight connections. Like, coaches have relationships, but Greg Heyer has been immersed in that world for the last few seasons. So, of course, he's hitting home runs, acquiring these JUCO players right now. And also on the Jabari Rice and Will McNair, well, where did Christians go?
Well, Mississippi State, that's where Will McNair went.
So I can't just straight say that he just went to Mississippi State for an NIL deal when his head coach also went to Mississippi State.
Yeah, I don't know what the NIL deals for these two specific athletes are at Texas and at Mississippi State. I'm going to assume there's something in it as they go. You know what's resonating with me, and I had this conversation, Lord knows, if I had it once yesterday, I had it 10 times on NIL. But what resonates the most with me is when we were having this conversation 24 hours ago, and you got the text from Heather Dyke, who is the women's soccer coach at the University of New Mexico, who said that they lost 2 recruits because of NIL deals. And I'm like, okay, we talk about it at football all the time. We're talking about it a little bit of basketball. When we have no idea what's going on throughout the length of this, right? Throughout all of college athletics. And when I've got a women's soccer coach at the University of New Mexico, and please don't think I'm downplaying their importance or their role, but when you start saying, okay, we're not talking about Texas football or USC football or Boise State football, we're talking about mid-major women's soccer, and there's an NIL component to that, and you're losing recruits. That's how far-reaching this is. That's how real this is. And again, everybody's talking about it, and nobody knows what to do. Now, I did hear one athletic director said to me, he's got a couple car dealers who want nothing to do with it, right? They're old school. They're like, nope, we're not paying them. It's going to hurt my business. I'm not doing it. Oh, okay. And it's one of his big boosters. But this thing's it shows the tentacles of this thing. And nobody knows what to do with it, JJ.
Yeah, because we asked the question, what are they changing? Like, what are you trying to...
And who's they?
Yeah, like, what are you trying to do? Trying to cap it? Are you... Like, I don't think anyone knows. They're like, oh, something's wrong. They're like, well, what are we addressing then? Like, all right, these players are getting money. Are they getting too much money? Hands up. Don't know.
No, and I guess before you can address it, who's they?
Yeah.
Who's addressing it? 505-246-0610. 888-922-0610. Get into some NBA playoffs, what you got coming today. Josh Sushan at 9:30. Heading into day baseball on the opening drive. On 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do his dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView.
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. This is the opening drive with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta, and JJ Buck.
Back at it with the NBA playoffs yesterday. Phoenix Suns get a big day from DeAndre Ayton and from maybe their best player. Well, yeah, their best player. Booker was terrific. 23 points for him. 121-114. The Suns win game one over the Mavericks last night. The Miami Heat were pretty good last night as well. 106-92. They took care of the 76ers, who were playing without Joel Embiid. Hockey underway last night as well. First day of the National Hockey League's Stanley Cup playoffs. The Kings beat Edmonton 4-3. St. Louis 4-0 over Minnesota. Toronto 5-0 over the two-time defending champion Tampa Bay Lightning. And Carolina 5-1 over the Boston Bruins. Good morning to you. Welcome to our day. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. A. Marie is back from her A. Murray
I got drafted.
Soiree. Yes. Yeah, you did get drafted.
I finally got drafted.
How do you feel about that? A late round pick,
Did you have someone announce it?
You know what's so funny? We saw someone get married at the draft and we're like, why didn't we even think of that? Like, in the later rounds.
You could have got married right there at the
and
I'll bet
like,
they would have put you on.
That'd be so funny.
Did they boo them?
No, you know at the draft everyone boos when.
Well, I mean, I just thought that was just the commissioner.
Well, it depends on. There's just
a lot of booing.
There's a lot of booing.
Well, because everybody gets on that stage and thinks that they're funny. Who was it, JJ? Wasn't it a Viking?
Yes.
Somebody reading the card that the girl went up there with her little headset on and kind of pointed.
Oh
Read
my
the card,
God.
dude.
It took so long, and I'm like, all for all these in-division trades into my team-in-law. Also, just to let everyone know, we do have phone calls, but Jeff is away right now, so we're going to have to do it over. I know, I'm telling you right now.
Oh.
No. I'm telling you right now. No, over there, it's just a little different today.
All right. JJ, what do we got?
Speech.
All right, go. Yeah, let me know when we got a call. I'm sorry. Did you guys text me?
Yeah, but it's okay.
But I'm using my phone for this.
I know. I was like, I'm just going to announce it on air.
Fair
What's
enough.
up, Speech?
How you doing, JJ? Hey, it was Ed Marinero who
That's who it
did
was.
this speech.
Yapping and yapping and yapping.
But two things. I want to congratulate Anne-Marie on her wedding, and I want to get her take on the Viking draft.
We addressed every position we needed, especially in the secondary. So I give us an A- grade. I didn't like the in division to the Lions trades, but it worked out. I think we
letting
addressed
the Lions
all.
get Jamison Williams.
Yeah.
Great out of
So
South.
we addressed every position, and we especially needed some secondary. So and we got the second best, I think, quarterback in the draft. And I don't know. I think he did a good. Our Quessy did a great job for his first draft as a Minnesota Viking
Doing
GM.
good. Hopeful. That's what it's all about. Right? How
Thanks,
about Lenny?
Speech.
Let's go, Lenny. You're up on the
How
opening
you
drive.
doing? Well, first we're going to get the hockey, and hopefully we're going to get to see the Colorado against the Rangers in the Stanley Cup Finals. Because the Rangers shouldn't have even been in the playoffs this year, but thankfully because the beating that they took at the hands of Tom Wilson last season put their team into a complete rebuild.
Okay.
So I was surprised they got in, but if you've never been to a hockey game, you need to go.
No doubt.
Because it's one of the
100%, no
best
doubt.
sports you can see live. Now, getting into basketball, it's still Milwaukee to lose. And I'm going to say it's going to be Milwaukee against the Warriors in the finals. But Milwaukee's front is too big for any team in the league. And talented. Lopez is a top 15 defender. Bobby Portis has stepped up this year. And who stops Giannis?
Well, nobody.
And then you still got their backcourt, which is still greater in defense with Holiday.
Is Middleton coming
will
back
be
at some
by
point?
Middleton may be back next round, but I can't see Philly doing anything because Embiid's going to be out at least another week to 2 weeks. Last time he broke his orbital bone, he was out 3 weeks and missed 10 games. So,
well,
I can't see anyone in the East beating Milwaukee, and the Suns seem to be going at the right pace, and Jordan Poole is playing out of his mind.
So who do you like in the West?
I want to see it. Probably going to be the Warriors. I think the Suns is just going to be like Utah every year. They're going to be the bridesmaid, never the bride. And
Yeah, that's Chris Paul.
Hey, sometimes, let me tell you, that changes.
Title.
It might
That's
take
Chris
a couple
Paul's
years,
life.
but
well, I
until
mean,
it
tell Chris
happens.
Paul that. You'll make Chris Paul feel a hell of a lot better, Marie. So
I should tweet it at him. I'm like, don't worry, buddy.
I'm
know,
with you
I
actually
just feel
on
bad
the
for
Bucks and
Paul,
the
but I
Warriors.
just, as much as good as Ayton is playing and everything, I don't think they can get around what the Warriors are doing right now.
If Ayton plays, I don't know that the Warriors, JJ, have an answer for Ayton if he plays.
Call
And that's
Draymond
the
Green.
thing. So is
Draymond
he,
Green does, because Ayton is not as physical a center as an Embiid. He's a finesse center more than physical. So
what about Draymond on
if
Giannis?
anything, Draymond can get inside his head.
Who guards
Hopefully he
Giannis if
doesn't
it's
get
the
any more of
Warriors?
those bogus technicals and get thrown out of the game.
So what do they do? What do they do if it's Warriors and Bucks? What do they do with Giannis then? Is it Draymond?
It's still going to be Draymond, and then whoever else they could throw at him. But you're still going to cover Brook Lopez, who's a three-point shooter, so he's going to spread the
amazing.
offense.
Yeah,
Portis can still shoot the three, but he's still a big boy at 6'10", 250.
he's a big boy.
So I mean, and you still got Drew Holiday, who's a lockdown defender.
Yep.
So
All right,
I
so
can't
you're-
see
you're in-
anyone beating Milwaukee.
All right, so you're
And
in on
you got to look
Milwaukee.
at one photo on Anne-Marie that she posted on Instagram. She's all
Right,
smiling. Her husband's looking down, reading something. I think she gave him a stat sheet and a bookie sheet, and she's teaching him how to do parlays. And he just looks confused. Like,
Is that how that was?
What does this mean?
No,
he's
I
trying to
took
figure
it.
out what
I
the
caught
money
him at
line
the
is.
perfect moment. He's just exhausted at the airport.
Already?
Trying to be
It's been
funny.
2 days.
I know. He's already tired.
exhausted.
He's like, yeah,
It's not
real
coming
married
down.
life. That's what everyone was commenting. They're like, yeah, that's the real married life
Now
right
you're
there.
married. Yeah, now you're married.
But if you-
Now I'm
if
married.
anything, take in some hockey games because
No
this
doubt.
is going to be a good playoff.
No doubt. All right, Lenny. Be well, man. Thank
It's
you.
funny.
You got it. What else you got there? Anything else lit
That's
up?
it right now.
How am I supposed to know? Like, give me
I
a
know.
heads
I
up or
kind of.
something.
I think we'll just. There we go.
Yeah.
Hand signals over ProView.
You're like, what? Still third? What? Bunt?
Yeah, right. I'm giving third base coach signals. It's hard not to say Bucks and Warriors, right? I guess there's plenty of people who think Suns instead of Warriors, but it's hard not to think Bucks out of the East right now, isn't it?
Yes, Giannis is the best player in basketball right now.
Period.
End of sentence.
Yeah.
And he's on a very good basketball team.
Even
that
without
has-
their number two.
Yes, without Chris Middleton.
Yeah.
As you mentioned, Drew Holiday's name a ton, but everyone fits into their role. Bobby Portis was the sixth man last year when they won a championship. Now Middleton out, they insert him in the starting lineup. He's playing well. You know, it's like you got your Grayson Allen, your Pat Connaughton's off the bench a few minutes. You know, Phil, what you expect. I right now don't know who I'd pick in a Warriors Sun series. I think that's.
I do.
Who would you take?
I would go Warriors. I
Warriors.
don't think it's easy. I don't think it's a blowout. I don't think it's dumb. But I think the Warriors, and to me, so there's more there, right? There's you've got three dynamic scorers now with Poole, if he continues on this, with Clay, with Poole, with Curry. I worry about them a little bit with bigs, and so when you say, oh yeah, Draymond on Ayton, and it's I don't know that I buy it's as easy an answer, but okay, like Ayton's big, and they've got nothing really to defend the bigs, and so Lenny's right on the a Giannis and Brook Lopez thing, and then Lopez extends you all the way out. But against the Suns, I would go Warriors because they defend. Ayton would be the difference to me, but I say, okay, I got Booker and Paul. I think it's a long series. I got Golden State.
Yeah, the explosiveness of that backcourt. You see it. You saw it game one. Draymond Green goes out. All right, let's see Steph Curry, Jordan Poole combined for 55. Klay Thompson, even I know we're talking about those missed free throws late. He made some really good plays with and without the basketball down the stretch, and we've seen it. And it really is on Chris Paul until Chris Paul can make that leap, because he has the dude next to him, Devin Booker, that can get it done. And the consistency of DeAndre Ayton, I think that's a Western Conference Final Series that we do get, and it should be fantastic basketball because of those matchups. Because then you go to the role players like Mikal Bridges, Andrew Wiggins, the roles that they play. Who do you match up with them? Kind of the defensive assignments that you see going all the way down to Gary Payton. Like, this series would be unbelievable.
Iguodala back by then?
Iggy's there. He's just not as prominent in the rotation as he has been in the past.
There's going to be an Iggy moment at some point in this series or in this postseason. It's a veteran presence who has been, to me, has made a career out of being really, really big in the playoffs. And there will be a moment where that old man's going to come off the bench and he's going to deliver something, and it's going to be super valuable for them. 505-246-0610 at 9:30 this morning. Josh Sushan will join us from beautiful Oklahoma City. That's where the Isotopes will open up a series with the Dodgers today. Day baseball here on the Sports Animal. That's going to be coming up at 9:30 this morning. Thanks for being with us this morning, and remembering that you listen to 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. The Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're #1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at Golden Pride at ABQ.
Mike says, when did things change, Jeffaloo? These early post-time games used to be called a businessman's special. Now they're school day matinees with a bunch of screaming little kiddies. When did it change? What do you call it? Day baseball? Is it well, it went from businessman special to a business person's special, if you recall.
Well, the business person's special, those come in June and July when school is out. So this is school day matinee. Sign me up all day, every day if I could get out of school to go to a baseball game.
Well, sure. And if you're the home team, sign me up if I can sell half-price tickets on a Tuesday and get 3,000 people in the ballpark that wouldn't be there anyway.
Screaming
Check.
kids.
That's right.
Hot dogs for days.
Yep. Text line also says, it's from Dan, Jeffrey Juan Jose regresando Ana Maria. Looks like Nedward Abraham James Jr. has landed a recurring role on the Big Stick. Was he on with TJ yesterday? I think that's right, because TJ called me. Hey, I got my seat sack. You want to come out and talk about the draft? And I said, I'm going to be out of town. So I think Ned was the lefty. I'm not sure on that one. But
Going to the
I hope
pen.
that worked out. Yeah, I hope that worked. Mike says, what are we doing, Jeffaloo? What are we doing with NIL? He says, if I'm a business, I'm very reluctant to sponsor a player. What happens if that player gets in an altercation at a Nob Hill bar at 3 a.m. when someone ends up getting hurt? How bad does that make me and my business look? Mike, what makes that difference from anybody endorsing? What makes that different from me endorsing a product, you endorsing a product, a professional? I mean, are we saying that the student athlete is more likely to get in that altercation? I guess I'm not. I don't understand where he's coming from.
Yeah, it's point to professional athlete X, Y, and Z that's been in that situation across
Phil
the board.
Mickelson.
It's a risk you take, making an endorsement deal. You hope that your endorser lives up to their responsibilities. If not, then there's usually clauses in contracts for that. And more times than not, it's not going to come back badly on whoever is endorsing said person, because it's the action of the individual and not the company involved. And you're looking at, the NIL deal, the pay for play. It also comes back to, what is the college supposed to do when they're not the ones handling it? When it's outside money, it's endorsement. It's just like, all right, I'm Steph Curry and I got my shoe deal. That has nothing to do with the Warriors and their
That's right.
contracts. This is, well, yeah, I play for the Warriors, which gives me this platform, but then I get this shoe deal. So how are colleges supposed to manage that?
So there's been a big conversation about that. Are they? Are these student athletes? So, there's a lot of pieces to that. So first of all, Mike, like that's a risk I think any business takes with any endorser. Okay, with any endorser. When Tiger Woods had his issue with the SUV and the golf club and the wife, I think everybody but Nike pulled out, right? When Phil Mickelson had his deal relatively recently with what he said about the Saudis and the other tour, and well, I mean they're bad people, but he lost Callaway, KPMG, and was there another one, JJ? Like he lost 3 major sponsors. Was it Buick or whatever car he was pitching? Like that's part of it. What you're talking about now is on the NIL deal. How should schools be involved? Somebody asked yesterday. I was in a conversation. Are they all paying taxes? Are the young men, the young women, are they paying their taxes? And at the level where you're getting $500 or whatever, it's probably not a big deal. But these kids from Alabama, Texas A&M, USC, hopefully somebody's gotten their conversation in their DMs, wherever it is, however they're listening, that, hey, if someone's giving you $500,000, don't go spend it all, because Uncle Sam's coming knocking on your door next year on April 15th and wants his 30-something% or whatever it is. And should the schools be responsible for that? Now, there should be, I think, they should be responsible for some sort of an education program in regards to that, but that's not on the schools now.
And it makes it
because
harder
the money's
because
not
they told
coming
them
through
they
the
can't
schools.
be involved. And I think that makes the situation worse, because they're like, oh, NIL deals, go do some commercials. You can't get the school involved. Well, this is messy as is. Like this it's not going to be worse if the schools are helping out these players. I think it can actually help them to that point, because big time programs, heck, even the University of New Mexico, I know they've signed deals with outside companies to help in this regard. But if you're USC, if you're Alabama, you know that you're going to have players in the big time money deals. It would only make sense for then you to add someone on the staff, add an agent / accountant to help these student athletes. Because the one place you got to start, as we sit here and go, what are we supposed to do? Because it's outside contracts that are coming in, is give them some guidance, man. Because you're right on.
I think most are.
And
JJ, I think most schools
you're not supposed
are
to help,
giving
but
them
you have to, man, because these kids could get buried.
Well, that's
Absolutely
the responsible
buried.
piece. I think most schools have somebody or something in place in regards to an educational piece, right? But nobody is really allowed to help you facilitate it. You can't run it through the university. You can't, hey, can you help me? How do I pay my taxes? Or you can give them the information, but you can't do it for them,
and I think
which is fine.
Also, too, until I don't know what else the NCAA is supposed to do in these athletic departments. From the beginning, they told you to stay away. Like, if an athlete wants to do that, he has to do it on his own. So then what is the NCAA supposed to do to legislate any of this when they've told to stay out of everything?
And that's really one of the biggest issues. So I go back to what you said earlier. What are they going to do? And I think before we figure out what they're going to do, I think we got to figure out who they are, right? I mean, the NCAA is staying out of it. The schools are told to stay out of it. Is it at a conference level? Do you govern this? Do you try to control this at the conference level? Is it? Do you want your legislature doing this? And you've got different rules in every state, right? Tennessee's different than New Mexico. So, the can of worms that this has become, you could see unintended consequences coming. I don't know that I saw it coming this quickly. Did you? Like you knew it was going to get out of control.
Not once we got into it, and the fact that everyone was just like, we can't do anything. The NCAA was losing like every battle in court. You could then at that point see, ooh, this is going to get super crazy because, and it's funny, the 9 o'clock hour yesterday, I was talking a little bit about this, and my answer was, I don't know. I was like, that's not a hot take. That's not what we're supposed to do. But until the powers at be, I think, figure out what that's going to look like moving forward. Like the president of the NCAA, are they going to kind of do things differently, have people oversee college football, then college basketball? and then have, hey, here's our Olympic sports people. We'll have communications. I think until you figure out kind of the structure at the top, it's going to be hard then to start figuring out everything else that has come along the way.
And I don't know that you're going to get enough people to agree on what that structure should look like and how far-reaching that structure should be. And look, the more you're pulling back and saying, kind of go do your own thing, put your hands up in the air, it's going to be harder to reel this thing in. But I think what's happening is the majority. Now, we're never going to be unanimous, but it feels an overwhelming majority of people are going, whoa, we got a real problem in college athletics right now. And it's teetering, and I would argue that it's already out of control because there is no control. That would be the definition of out of control. It's teetering, and I don't know how they're going to reel this thing back in. I just don't know how they reel it in, JJ. But we'll see. 505-246-0610, 888-922-0610. We'll talk some baseball coming up at 9:30. I want to get into some football stuff, the DeAndre Hopkins suspension, the hoops last night, the hockey. If you want to get into local stuff with Judge Chavez, if you got a Judge Chavez story, I'd love to hear it. The Valley coach, former Highland coach, former Cedar coach, retiring football. So we're here for all that at 505-246-0610. Get ready for summer. Get your house ready for summer. Get a hold of Kirtland Federal Credit Union, and they will help you achieve your financial goal. Whatever your financial goal is, Kirtland Federal Credit Union can help you. They've got products, they've got personal service that will get you wherever it is you're looking to be. If you're at that point where you're planning for retirement, and it's never too early, investing for retirement starts with Kirtland Financial Services. So you can talk to an advisor today, and you'll start walking the path to a confident future. Looking to improve your home? You can turn the value of your home into cash, and you can use that cash for home improvements, for upgrades, for more. Looking for a new home? Wide variety of mortgage programs. Partner with a team of friendly and knowledgeable mortgage experts at Kirtland Federal Credit Union. And if you're looking to buy a car, they've got competitive rates, unbeatable service. They'll help you drive away in the vehicle you want with payments you can live with. Kirtland Federal Credit Union, they will help you. How can they help today? Give them a call. Stop by any branch or visit them online. It's kirtlandfcu.org. That's kirtlandfcu.org. Membership eligibility required. See a representative for complete membership details.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dreams are stucco. Stucco is the way to go. The Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather. the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream Style Stucco.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number one in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, backed by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
So I knew there were unwritten rules in baseball, and I guess there's unwritten rules in basketball, and probably in everything. Did you know there were unwritten rules in the NFL draft? It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, J.J. Buck, Amory. Did you know that?
No, I did not.
So you were there. Did you know that the NFL was mad at the Detroit Lions? That they were unhappy because they broke an unwritten rule?
I did not know that.
JJ, I was, honestly, when this went down, I'm like, that's pretty cool. all right, this thing's moving along. It's refreshing. The Lions, when Aiden Hutchinson was left on the board, right? The Lions knew who they wanted. Trayvon Walker went first to the Jacksonville Jaguars, and Lions were like, boom. And evidently Dan Campbell, their coach, who I'm liking more and more, said, bleep it. This is our guy. Let's go. Let's move. We don't need to do this dog and pony show. So they turned in the card in the NFL because this is a made-for-TV production, because this is supposed to last for 18 hours or whatever it is, 3 hours.
Gosh.
They didn't want it to go so quickly. They want you have 10 minutes between. Use your time. And we're all sitting there going, what are they doing? They know who they want, right? Like the Jaguars. They had all off season. They've had the last 5 months to figure it out, but they used the whole time, and they took it down to the end. Well, Lions said, bleep it. We know who we want. And so the NFL was mad. Are you kidding me with this?
I applaud the Detroit Lions.
Same.
Thank you.
Because it's one
I
where
think it's awesome to be like, yes, we got him, or whatever.
I think either way.
Yeah.
Like if Aiden Hutchinson went number one, and they would turn in that card for Trayvon Walker. It was a coin flip. Those were the two guys that went 1 and 2, and whoever went first, well, we know we're getting the other guy, so turn in the card. And especially in this draft, where there were no quarterbacks involved, so teams were not going to trade up. The offers were not coming in. There's no need to wait.
Thank you.
Because you're waiting on that bone to ring. It's a last minute. Is anyone going to freak out, throw some ridiculous offer at us? There was nothing there. Turn in the card, move on.
And it was the guy they wanted. It's not even like they were settling for this guy at number 2. That was the guy they coveted. He's from Michigan. He played at Michigan. He's going to be on Michigan's team. Everything. Oh, and they had him rated at the top of their draft board as number 1. Easy. Like, that's my guy. Why do I got to sit around and play your little game and listen to Mel Kiper tell me, well, the best available after 1 pick? Really? Like, boom. Can we get out of here and be done with this? And I think every one of us who's sitting at home went, nice. I don't know how you were, A. Marie, being there, if you even noticed it, if you realized how quickly it happened. But for crying out loud, we got to play this game?
Way better than like we were talking about before, the Viking pick. Jeez, I was sitting there just staring at it. It's like,
who was that dude? Who was that old timer? Speech told us who it was.
Ed something. I don't know. Don't take that for.
Well, obviously, it wasn't that memorable.
No, I was just so annoyed.
Not quite like David Akers
like
in
the
Dallas
pick-
a few years ago.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
Like
I applaud the Lions too. Let them have their moment. Let them do what they want. That's their time.
Well, and if they want to get it done with, like we all want them to get it done with.
You have,
and we all knew it was going to happen.
You're going to have so much time to
The
talk
first
about
10
everything
top-
else. You'll be fine.
Top 10 picks.
I didn't even know there were unwritten rules. I had no idea. Never even crossed my, they're going to be in trouble now. I wonder if they get fined for that. Well, nope, you've got to use at least 5 of your 10 minutes.
I've never heard that.
No, I don't think that's right. But garbage. I've never heard that somebody would get upset because you picked it up too quick. All right, let's go to the phones. What do you got?
We got Edward.
What's up,
Hello, Edward.
Tyler Hero, you're my hero. For the 34th time this past year in NBA basketball, he scored at least 20 points coming off the bench, 6th man of the year. Now, if Embiid doesn't come back, my prediction of them possibly getting into the finals may come to fruition. Probably not. Probably won't get through the Milwaukee Bucks, though, but it's a dream to have. You know, guys, not only are we in May, a third of the year's over, and it's been a great run for the Crusher, the first third of the year, but there's also unwritten rules not only in baseball and in football, but also calling local sports talk radio shows. So I just want to say, not only is the senior management there impeccably dressed with Hugo Boss, probably wearing Chanel blue to smell impeccably clean, and the best hairstyle straight out of, Men's Health magazine, I just want to say it's good to be back.
Welcome
as I
back.
traversed in Vegas, go ahead, Jeff.
Welcome back.
Oh, thanks. You know what? It's delightful to be back. Last week in Vegas, I was there with the newly crowned Mrs. Murray. I didn't get the chance to see her, but we did run into Gronk and Julian Edelman. That was awesome. There was probably 250,000 people there Thursday night, because they blocked off Las Vegas Boulevard and they renamed it Draft Boulevard. I don't know. I took a picture of it. It's pretty cool. I'll share it with you guys. But
cool.
They did in front of Caesars, and then in front, they blocked off probably 5 square blocks. And I'm not kidding you guys or exaggerating. There was probably 250,000 people there that night. It was awesome. It was a good environment for everyone. And I always suspend judgment on draft picks, high, low, medium. I wasn't thrilled with the Patriots' first-round draft pick, number 69, Strange, who was probably a fourth-round candidate. But when the greatest player in the history of the league was a 6th-round draft pick, I always suspend judgment. It's been fascinating. I wanted to share with you. My mantra has always been devastatingly handsome, check plus, tragically brilliant, check plus, and painfully accurate. For about 5 years now, guys, I've been saying the NCAA will collapse. And ironically, last week, Mark Emmert, the president of the NCAA, stepped down, mutually agreed to step down, which, by the way, they just gave him an extension through 2025 last year. It's going to collapse, my friends, and it's going to implode from within, which isn't a bad thing. It's going to be rebuilt, and we'll have a new version of the NCAA, which may not include the 5 major conferences for football anyway. And I just find it interesting. I told you last year he's going to lose all power and all leverage as a decision-making body, which is exactly and precisely what happened. So therefore, he had to step down months after he got an extension. The NIL is a game changer. I think they'll put more structure behind it. And I'm not a doom and gloom guy. I think this is positive.
Who is they? Who is they that's going to put more structure behind it?
Well, that's a great question because they have no sanctioning body right now.
That's my point.
They have a sanctioning
That's
body.
my point.
They just don't have any leverage.
So if the NCAA isn't going to do it, who's going to do it? Is it the conferences?
Let me answer your question.
Like
the conferences are going to do it. The 5 or 6 major conferences are going to pull together and say, here's what we're going to do. And everything's going to cascade from there. I've been telling you guys for years, which, by the way, I ran into Bob Clark last week, and we shared some good thoughts together. I've been telling you for years that this was going to happen, and it's all coming to fruition, and I think it's beautiful. And the 6 major conferences will play for one championship, and then there'll be a tiered system, and the mid-majors will play for another championship, and everybody will win because you can't compete with those guys. Guys, Cincinnati made the Final Four last year. They couldn't get a first down on Georgia, and they were strong. They were a great team. They couldn't compete on the field. Oklahoma hasn't been able to compete. Notre Dame gets blasted. There's about 5 teams that can win the national championship right now, and I don't think it's a bad thing. I think you just have to kind of unlearn what you know and rebuild. So I thought I'd share that with you. It's good to be back, and thank you for taking my call.
Good day, sir. I don't know that I think it's a good thing if you got 5 to 10 teams who that's who's competing for it every year. I don't think that's good. But whether I learn it or relearn or whatever, I don't. But first of all, there were a lot of people who were saying the NCAA is breaking up, that they're going to lose power, that the conferences are going to take control, right? I mean, a lot of people are saying that. We'll see where it goes. I mean, certainly it's on a trajectory, right?
Yes, it's the ultimate unknown right now.
Well, all right, let's take the break. 505-246-0610. Keep them coming. It's the opening drive on 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
Staples Print and Market. Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. A Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1
like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best. High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do is dream of what to do with it next.
After the first round, they run whoever out there to call the picks out. So that was the year after Philadelphia won the Super Bowl.
Okay.
And so David Akers, kicking legend for the Philadelphia Eagles,
right?
He went out there. He was a little bit more concise, and his was like kind of 60 seconds, riling up, going, "Dallas, the last time you won the Super Bowl, these guys weren't even born." It was more like just went out there, boom, boom, quick shots,
poking them
at the crowd. Eagles, NFC East rivals, and it was great. And they needed the draft pick. This dude, we're talking like he's on Sports Talk Radio or something, going for 3 or 4 minutes.
All I remember is him telling me about his draft day, and he was, I don't even know what his story was. Just tell me who the damn pick is, please. But yet the NFL was pissed off at the Lions for going too quickly.
Well, they didn't have the music, so they had the producer walk out there, point at the card.
That was the beautiful part. That was the best to me. The best part of the whole damn draft was that young lady with her little headset walking out there and pointing at the card. And, I guess they want me to read this thing, and yes, everybody wants you to read the damn thing. Yes, and it was your Vikings. You should be so proud. It was your team who screwed that whole thing up.
I
but
know.
yet the NFL's pissed at the Lions, is what you're telling me, because they broke the unwritten rule. Not this old guy, but it was. What are we doing? What are we doing?
Talking to
All right,
Rudy?
emails.
We'll talk to Rudy.
Oh, is Rudy there?
Yeah.
Oh no, I didn't know there was a call. Yeah, let's
Sorry,
go to Rudy.
I started putting up a sign.
What was the sign? Show me so I know. But were you up on my screen when you did it?
You can't even see it. Never mind. I tried to write out a name.
It's harder on the cell phone.
It actually
for Jeff.
hard is.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah, only because I'm using my
The picture
phone
looks
for
great.
It really
from your cell
does.
phone.
It really does.
That's my Samsung Galaxy S10. I need
looks
to upgrade.
Let's
it.
go.
Laptop.
That's the front selfie camera that we're using there. Huh? How about that? All right. So last time I did coffee, I filled it up and it poured all over the damn thing, and now I barely filled it up and I got a shot of coffee. What the hell? Anyway,
Put
Rudy,
you in a
what's
Motel
up?
8? What's going on?
I know. Hardly.
Well, yesterday just seemed to have technical difficulties, so I'm going to remain in one spot today when I call.
Yeah, your call was bad yesterday. Yeah.
Yeah, bad call quality, huh? What's new? So I was discussing this with A. Marie, and I guess she's A. Murray now, but maybe we'll just change her name to AKA.
Yeah, we'll
or
see.
FKA, formerly known as,
As long as it's not Anne Murray.
Yeah, we'll help you with the rebrand, A. Marie. There's some rebranding going on after the weekend. This whole NCAA thing, man, I couldn't imagine a worse situation. And I'm trying to find a parallel, but in my business, it would be like waking up one day and all of a sudden they say there are no more rules of civil procedure, okay? Just no more rules. You have no more rules for civil procedure to guide attorneys and to control how cases move through the courts. And I can't imagine anything more like anarchy. And that's exactly what's going on right now. It's not even Wild Wild West. I think it's true anarchy. And something has to happen before this whole thing goes off the rails. I mean, I think it's headed right towards a cliff, and somebody has to step into this void. Something has to step into this void. And the people that need to step into the void are the presidents. Aren't they the ones that always make changes?
It's got to be. Yeah, it's got to be, because they're the ones who could. Yes, it's got to be the presidents. But I don't even know that you're going to get the president at Texas A&M and Alabama and Auburn and USC and Notre Dame to agree that it needs to go in the same direction.
Well, you got to have some rules. So right now you're looking at NIL, and there are no rules, and so it's causing a lot of stuff. It's causing tampering. If you're Alabama or if you're Michigan or if you're Florida, you have nothing to worry about. But if you're New Mexico and New Mexico State, and that broke my heart to sit there and hear Heather Dyke, who's one of the better soccer coaches in the country, say, hey, I lost 2 players over NIL. So that begs the question, what can you do? I mean, there are times that I think about just, okay, I can do NIL. I'll go invite Jalen House to dinner and pay him $200 to eat at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse with me and take a picture. Isn't that NIL?
Yeah, he's endorsing Rudy at that point.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, that's how bizarre this thing can get.
Yes. No, but that's true, right? Yeah. All right, man. Top of the hour music. Appreciate you. And by the way, your phone sounded really good today.
Good day for phones.
Yeah. Sounded good. So it looks all right? It's good.
Looks fantastic.
Does this look like a Motel 8 to you?
No.
You should see the view. Josh Sushan, 9:30. We'll talk baseball with him. It's the opening drive. Happy Tuesday. Thanks for listening to 95.9 FM and AM 670 Sports Animal.
Supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. The Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number 1. Cover it with green stuff, 1 scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality and flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit CarCrafters.com.
CarCrafters, it's like it never happened.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into the future. All you have to do.
We're not that proud of us.
7 o'clock in the morning. 7 a.m. where have you been? 7 a.m. where is your brother?
Now, voted the best sports show in New Mexico for 5 years running. This is the opening drive with 3-time New Mexico Sportscaster of the Year, Jeff Symbieta and JJ Bond.
Rolling through a Tuesday morning, the morning after the Suns beat the Mavs 121-114 in the opening game of that Western Conference semifinal, while the Heat beat the Sixers 106-92, game one of the Eastern Conference semifinal in the National Basketball Association. Stanley Cup playoffs are underway. DeAndre Hopkins suspended in the National Football League. We got a lot going on, and 505-246-0610 is how to get to us. You can send us emails there as well. I know you can't send us emails. You can send us texts there, but you can send us emails to Jeff or JJ at sportsanimalabq.com. The text line says, JJ, congrats to the New Mexico Ice Wolves moving to the second round of the playoffs. Speaking of hockey, how you feeling about the Avs in Nashville in the first round?
Feeling good. Everyone's back in the lineup. Landeskog, Ratnin, McKinnon, Kadiri, so your top scorers are out there. Defense is healthy. Some of the pairings they got to work on. Penalty kill hasn't been great for the Avalanche, but the big blow for Nashville coming in as the second wild card team in all this. Their starting goaltender's out at least the first 2 games and questionable the rest of the way. And it's a guy that won the most games in the league of any starting goaltender. And boy, they're going to have to pull something out of their hat, that rabbit out of the hat, to fill against a explosive, dangerous Colorado Avalanche team.
Avalanche are nice. I think the Avs, hockey playoffs are always the most bizarre. Like, you get more 8 seeds, and like I quote, air quote, 8 seeds that make runs than in any other sport. But you're often running with that, and the Avs are really good. The email line, the machine. Dan says, Jeffrey Juan Jose, you wait till Ana Maria hits the Vegas wall, Amory. You feel great in Vegas, even with little sleep. Then you get a little tired when you return for the first 24 to 36 hours, but once the high wears off, a weekend of gouging on cheap buffets and free-flowing water catches up with you.
I wish it was cheap buffets, but no,
Yeah,
just
there
kidding.
was
I had
nothing cheap
made
about it, was
amazing food and drink.
go to the,
I think
Four
I've hit a
Seasons?
wall. Oh, okay. I was funny enough. We went to breakfast there.
Well, because you were at the Mandalay Bay, right?
Yeah, so it's connected, and
So it's right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I was like kind of nervous, but we were fine.
How was breakfast?
It
As long
was
as you
good.
just don't have
Just
that.
expensive eggs.
Just send it back. Can you recook these a couple times, actually, to make sure?
Don't send your food back. I'm just
Don't
saying.
send your food back.
I'm just saying. I asked you for your best Judge Chavez memory, as the football coach has called it quits. James says, my favorite memory is the Lins, i.e. superstar Richard Stevens, calling him Fudge Chavez. So the late Richard Stevens used to write a column in the Tribune. The Tribune was an afternoon newspaper. A newspaper was something that you would actually paper that you would read without looking at your computer. You would actually pick up a newspaper. We had 2 in this town for a while. The Tribune was the afternoon paper, and Richard Stevens had an alter ego character, the Lins, that would take shots at people, and it was a great local column. And he would call Judge Fudge. Judge, just a little rotund at the time, although he lost a lot of weight. He was the first guy. So the first football game I ever went to, I probably told him this story on the air here, JJ. When '96, I was at Channel 7. They sent me out. It was at Wilson Stadium. It was Highland against somebody. Bobby Newcomb was on that team, and I'm like, who is this little Joe Pesci looking? I mean, he's screaming all the time, and I interviewed him after the game, and instantly liked Judge Chavez, and he's been a legend in this town, and he retired from Valley. So we got a lot of new coaches, man. The
lot
coaching
of
carousel's
turnover.
really turning, isn't it? Yeah, you got a
In
lot to talk with
football.
Sebastian about tomorrow.
in other sports. I know there was just 2 openings in high school soccer, 2 or 3 openings, like just a lot of stuff, man.
Yeah.
The last few years have been really tough on teachers, coaches, and some people that are just ready to take a breath.
Well, then you get to a point where, you know what, I'm good, man. At some point, I just want to enjoy.
62 years old right now.
Yeah, that's a great shot that Adrian found of Judge Chavez. Is that what Judge is, 62? Is that what you told me?
Yeah, that's what the paper told me.
All right. Well, if the paper told you that, must be right, because Yoda's probably wrote the story, and he's usually really, 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 really good. So, yeah. So, good. Congratulations on a wonderful career for him, first of all. And I'll bet he's still around. And hey, he'd be a great analyst on ProView, don't you think? For high school, I'm just saying. Just for
well,
high
there's
school
another
football
part of the conversation too. What's that going to look like in the future?
So, I don't really know the answer to that. I saw James's conversation with Adrian Ortega in the paper on Sunday, with a lot of different things, and out of state travel is allowed for Albuquerque Public Schools, which is long overdue. I feel, don't you?
Yeah, they can take at least 1 trip a year, which you're not going to probably do more than that.
Yeah, but long overdue. The Metro tournament's going to include some out-of-Metro teams for basketball, and then what is it going to look like as far as the streaming? And we were talking yesterday, you and I were. I mean, are they just going to put a camera up and think that's okay? I mean, the standard that ProView and the NFHS has set is pretty high. Like, if you've watched a ProView presentation, it's pretty good. I'm not telling you it's NBC or ABC with their 15, 20 cameras. But what they do with 1 camera, 2 cameras, sometimes 3 for the big events, is pretty professional and pretty fantastic. And I think the quality of the announcers that ProView has put out there has been very good. Like, I think people have gotten spoiled. And if you cut your standards, I think people will notice that. And because, like, I understand, and look, work it out. You guys figure out the business angle, who gets a piece. Like, I get that. But if you think it's as easy as just putting up a camera and people are going to go buy your stream, I think you'd be mistaken.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of that in regards to when games were closed or they were limiting capacity, and someone would in there and like just put up their cell phone. It's like,
Right.
oh, I'm streaming the game so I can see my kid. And you're like, we can't really see anything.
That's kind of that highlight I showed you my kid's goal the other day. I had to point you out which one it was, right?
Hey, but
Which
once
was
you
the
see
guy
it,
with the cell phone.
It was pretty good.
Hey, I had it. Hey, Marie, there's a shot. Addie had actually played the best game in 2 or 3 years. I mean, she played really well on Saturday. But one of the parents from the far side had it on her cell phone, and so they put it up, and I showed JJ. Okay, I got to point out. Okay, there she is, right there, right. But once you have it, you have it. I'll show it to you. Don't think I won't.
No, I
I'm
can't
coming
wait.
back.
I can't wait.
At some point, I'm coming back, and we'll be in the same
Thursday?
room in the same building.
Thursday? Maybe Thursday.
Yeah, that might be the day. Yeah, and then I got. I might have some. Well, that's another story. All right. Suns with Ayton last night. Did Ayton surprise you that he was so good last night?
No.
He has 25 and 8. So I'm with you on that. He, to me, is the X factor here. I expect Booker to get his. I expect Chris Paul to do what he does. I expect them to find another scorer. If Ayton plays, look, people forget he was the number 1 overall pick. I told you remember the playoffs last year? I said he was the most improved guy in the playoffs. Remember that? We had this conversation about, I thought he came the furthest as far as growing up as a player. If he continues to improve, like I know I said I will still take the Warriors, but to me, if he is consistent, they can win this thing.
Yeah, and he's got a chip on his shoulder because they didn't pick up his option, his rookie option on the end of his contract. So he's gonna get paid a ton of money. It's a consistency, and he is the new era center, not just a 3-point shooter, but his athleticism, where he can space, he can play inside, he can play back to the basket, he can be that high post player, so he can give you some spacing with the jump shot. And you're right, I think it gets lost that he was a number 1 overall draft pick. He was that talent. You know, the dude that we saw play at the pit, and they're like, oh, this guy's going to be something. Yeah, he absolutely is.
He is something.
And for that team, it's just the balance. Like that is, if 1 through 5, the most prototypical roster in the NBA, and it works. Like, you have a classic point guard, shooting guard, small forward, maybe not so much power forward, Jay Crowder, kind of that new era dude, and then DeAndre
I think
Ayton.
Crowder's kind of a power forward.
Yeah, I guess we'll go new era with it. But 1 through 5, the efficiency is fantastic offensively and defensively. And you saw it last night. Like, that game was not as close as that final score. They are in control from start to finish. They are in juggernaut mode right now. Collision course, Suns, Warriors, Western Conference Finals.
Yeah, that's the series, isn't it? And then the final, assuming, I think Milwaukee or Miami, but I think Milwaukee gets there and went against one of those two teams. That's what everybody wants to see, isn't it?
Absolutely. Best teams in basketball. Like, we're going to have good games. So I'm still all in. How does Luka respond? Can he steal a game dropping 50 on the
45.
Phoenix Suns? Memphis coming back tonight. Missed opportunity. What does Draymond Green look like? There's still great stories along the way, but we know what the ultimate matchup is going to be.
Yeah. All right, 505-246-0610. Come on in. 505-246-0610. Emails Jeff or JJ at sportsanimалabq.com. 9:30 this morning, we're going to Oklahoma. Well, figuratively, we're going to Oklahoma because I'm not going to Oklahoma. But Josh is there, and so we'll talk to Josh Sushan, get you ready for Isotopes baseball against the Dodgers. They open up a series there this morning. So we'll do that at 9:30 this morning. Thanks for listening to 95.9 FM and AM 610, the Sports Animal.
The Jim Rome Show.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the pet supply superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. The Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walking to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Barbecue Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
For certified collision and body repair, visit the experts at CarCrafters. 5 locations in Albuquerque and Rio Rancho. Visit carcrafters.com.
The energy landscape is limitless and ever-changing. Cleaner energy resources are crucial to New Mexico's environment. For 100 years, PNM has utilized cutting-edge technology and employed hard-working New Mexicans to ensure that we have consistent, reliable energy when we need it. For life's loudest moments, quietest moments, and every moment in between. We're dedicated to providing you with energy now and into
They
the
will
future.
play the Doyers.
All you
Actually, 9:45 pregame show. That means in less than a half hour from now, you get Dayball. It's the opening drive. Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. A. Marie is back and married and present. She's producing for us on the radio side. Adrian's got you on the television side. You can play radio with us at 505-246-0610. That's how you can text us. You can call us. And you can hit us on the email machine, Jeff or JJ. It's sportsanimалabq.com. I'm in a different zip code, so I'm kind of looking at JJ and checking and doing this. Yay, nay. Okay. Sorry. It's our wonderful. Yeah, if you're watching on the program.
Stig, everybody's coming in to congratulate. And Stig wasn't
Are
here.
you? So who all came in to
Stig,
congratulate you?
the boss, Bob Clark.
The boss.
BV's
Bob
here.
Clark. So all the people in those really, really nice suits and great haircuts.
Yes.
Well, what was the highlight outside of wedding and draft? What was the highlight of Vegas? Was it the overpriced eggs at the Four Seasons?
No. Yeah. If anyone's ever been to Bazaar Meats, it's a very good restaurant. And it was probably one of the top 5 meals I've ever had in my life.
Where is it?
Sahara?
Where is it? Bazaar Meats?
In the Sahara Hotel?
Oh, it's in the Sahara.
Yeah.
Okay.
And my girlfriends took me to Magic Mike.
How was that?
I know.
Okay, I thought it was going to be, it was very tasteful. And
was it?
It was more of like I felt like I was at like a Broadway show just with like guys with their shirts off. That was my last night being single, quote unquote.
Oh, that was your bachelorette party.
Yeah, and yeah, that's
Kinda.
my bachelorette party on Friday night after round 2.
What did Kyle do that night?
Him and all the guys went to a cigar place in Caesars, and then they gambled.
Okay. All right. Did you win a bet? Did you cash a ticket? I saw you. You got tickets. You placed bets every day. Did you win one?
No.
No. Okay.
But I do the crazy 10-game parlays.
I
I
know
won
what
off
you do.
slots. I won off slots. That's it. Kyle
Okay,
won at
but
poker. He always wins at poker.
All right.
And
So you
roulette.
were
Oh,
close.
I can't believe I even missed it. Okay, if you guys haven't been to Circa Hotel, it's the coolest sports bet in Vegas, and I won $500 off playing Red 30 on roulette.
Really?
Yeah.
Did it hit on the fringe around it, or
Mhm.
did it hit red 30?
Yeah, on the fringe.
Right on. That's a big.
$500.
All right. How was getting around with all the people in for the draft? I mean,
I thought
Vegas is Vegas, but
They did such a good job. Like,
they?
yeah, because also all your Ubers and stuff just went around the strip, which I think actually
Right,
made
which they
everything
always do anyway.
faster. Yeah, so it was great, but there were a lot of people there.
So, in regards, like the vibe, was everybody just in a good place? It feels like it was just
Yes.
one big NFL party that was there for the A. Murray wedding.
Just
but,
fandom.
I mean, were people
Yeah.
cool? Were people
Yeah,
cool?
Uh-huh. Everyone was
All
cool
right.
with each other.
All right.
And
That's
people were
good.
dressed head to toe in their team gear and, talking smack to one another, and it was really fun.
You see any fights?
Nope.
No fights in the crowd?
No
Yeah.
fights.
Well, wait till it comes to Albuquerque.
I saw a fight at weird. I know. Just wait till it comes to Albuquerque.
I'm just saying.
They'll be fighting about like the stadium or the Lobos, not even the draft.
One a fight guy gets out there, and it's like, yeah, I'm glad. No, that's good. That's good that everybody was well behaved. It feels like it should be. Like Nashville, Vegas, you do the NFL party. It should be just that everybody
It's-
gets a good groove on.
Yeah, it's just a party, and that's all it is, by the way. It's just parties everywhere and different happy hours and different events, even for media. It's just one big party.
That's why the Lions got in trouble, because they were shortening the party
They're
by
shortening the
drafting
party.
too freaking quickly. What are we doing?
When people got off the plane that's never been to Albuquerque yesterday, by the way, they were like freaked out. They're like, is this a ghost town? Like this couple couldn't get an Uber. We had a hard time getting an Uber from the airport from Albuquerque yesterday to our house. And
Really?
they're like, this is so weird. No one's at the airport. Why is this airport so small? It was really funny. People were freaking out about our airport.
Our airport's the best airport to fly through, period. I fly
Heck
through a
yes.
lot of airports.
Takes
I
you
go
10
through a
minutes
lot
to
of
get to your
airports.
gate, man. Let's go.
Let me just tell you, and if you have TSA pre, which, by the way, you should. Well, no, actually you shouldn't, because then it's going to just load everything up. But I can leave my office.
It's terrible.
An hour and 15 minutes before the flight, park, get through, and be at the gate literally in about 20 to 25 minutes. It's our airport. Look, I mean, you've flown through Denver enough. You've flown through
We got a
LAX
phone. We
enough.
got a phone call.
It's brutal. What do you got?
Dan.
Hello, Daniel.
Good morning. Hey, I just wanted to congratulate A. Marie and Ryan. Oh, no, it's not Ryan. It's Kyle. Kyle.
That's right. She wasn't here for that.
Yeah, she wasn't here for that. I was sure congratulating you and Ryan, A. Marie.
Ryan? Who's Ryan?
It was Anne Marie and Ryan.
Anne Marie and Ryan.
Yeah. So.
I've never even dated a Ryan. That's really funny, though.
Right? Well,
but you married
I
one.
don't even know where I got Ryan from, but.
So I missed
It
that
was
in
all
hot dog
good
talk.
intention. It was all in good intention, and congratulations, and I hope you guys have a long and happy, joyous marriage together, and
thank you,
and get a whole bunch of little A. Maries and Kyles out there into the world.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
But and then
They
Judge
wouldn't be
Chavez,
little.
Man, what a pain in the butt that guy was. But man, I'll tell you what, he gave to the community like nobody can, and it's that. Jeff, you know that is a thankless position to have most of the time as a coach like that, and you never make what you give, what you put out, and I don't think they really do it. I don't think we really do it for the money. A lot of us, it's just for the love of the game and the students and the community. And I know Judge Chavez is most certainly a top-notch community guy. So congratulations to him on his retirement, and I hope he has a peaceful, restful, and joyous retirement. And the rest of you have a great day. Jeff, be careful on the road.
All right, see you, Dan. You never do as a coach. Well, we had this conversation a few weeks ago, right? I mean, you never get your worth as a coach. And Judge has been a terrific coach, a mentor, a leader, and you know, whenever you, I love when you decide it's time, right? And I don't know how it's going to end for any of us professionally. But when you get to make the call and you get to say, you know what, I'm going to walk away. It's time for me. As opposed to you telling me, hey, scram, right? It's I'm assuming, I'm hoping that's what's going on with Judge. Good for him, man. Good for him, because he's had a hell of a run and positively influenced thousands of young men. And that's why you should get into it. That's what it should be about, right? Is doing it for those reasons. And so here's to him. I'm all about that. All about that. All right, you want to talk to Josh when we come back? Want to talk a little baseball?
Yes.
All right. When we return, Josh Sushan. He is in Oklahoma City. The Dodgers and the Isotopes will go at it today. It'll be morning baseball, so we'll talk to him when we come back. You hear the words private security when it comes to IPS, and you might think, wow, that's expensive. It's a lot of money. And I guess the response would be, what's protecting your home worth? What's protecting your business worth? What's protecting your family worth? Aaron Jones owns International Protective Service, and he watches My Home. His company does. They have for years. It's about $5 a day. You could have a highly trained, armed IPS officer patrol your home twice every day. They'll watch for any suspicious activity, even pick up the mail and move your trash cans from the curb back when you're not home. It is a wonderful service that I've enjoyed, I've appreciated for years. It's affordable, private security. Give them a call. Find out what they can do for you. 505-897-2420 is the number. 505-897-2420. Or you can visit them online at ipsglobal.com. IPS, making Albuquerque a safer place to live.
Esports.
Rudy's is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
For 50 years, Clark's Pet Emporium has been your pet's favorite stop. Fish, birds, cats, dogs, reptiles, and small animals. Clark's has built a tradition of friendly, knowledgeable service focused on affordable, quality pet care products and food. Locally owned and operated with 2 convenient locations for all your pet needs, including an extensive selection of gifts for both owners and pets. 11200 Manal Northeast or 4914 Lomas Northeast. Clark's Pet Emporium is celebrating 50 years. Thank you, Albuquerque, the Pet Supply Superstore. ClarksPets.com.
Dream style stucco. Stucco is the way to go. The Southwest tradition, beautiful and durable. The perfect combination. Your favorite color, your favorite texture. You're gonna love it when they put it all together. Through any weather, nothing looks better. From the smooth to the rough, they really know their stuff. Nobody does stucco like Dream style stucco.
For your business or your home, Valley Fence stands alone. We're number 1 in New Mexico for a reason. It's the best fence you can own. Proudly serving New Mexico for over 50 years. At Valley Fence, the difference is clear. No fence too big, too small, or difficult. We handle them all at Valley Fence Company.
We would like to thank the following sponsors for making this broadcast possible. For over 20 years, Evergard Roofing and Solar has been committed to customer service. Locally owned and operated, Evergard offers both commercial and residential roofing and solar services. For more info, please call 505-821-9543. Evergard Roofing and Solar are proud supporters of ProView Sports Network and New Mexico Youth Athletics.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
High school sports are back. You can watch every ProView Network broadcast online on the NFHS network. Every moment from every game from every sport, including all NMAA state championship games. Get your monthly pass now. Just go to ProViewNetworks.com, click on the NFHS logo, and sign up today. Watch New Mexico's best.
Well, I'm going to the frontier, walk up to the cashier, order up a root beer and a number one. Cover it with green stuff, one scoop is not enough. Find a booth is real tough, back by the Duke. Meet my family, meet my friends in the quirkiest restaurant I have ever been. All of Albuquerque's favorite spot, it's the Frontier Restaurant.
The Frontier Restaurant is a proud supporter of ProView Networks.
Don't sacrifice quality of flavor when you're in a hurry. Golden Pride offers ribs, fried chicken, green and red chili breakfast burritos, and Frontier Cinnabons. 4 great locations, or visit us online at goldenpride@abq.com. Golden Pride Bar.
Back where it all started today for the Isotopes. Good morning to you. Opening drive, Jeff Symbieta, JJ Buck. We are out of here early today because Josh Sushan will soon crack the microphone from beautiful Oklahoma City. Morning ball. Isotopes opened up a series against the Dodgers. That's where they opened up the season. And the voice of the Isotopes is Josh Sushan. He joins us this morning from Oklahoma City. Good morning, sir. How you living?
I am living not as well as A-Marie, but I'm living very well.
She's I think she's still hurting from a week in Vegas, so you might be living all right. Morning baseball. This is early morning baseball. Somebody asked, when did it turn into a business person special to kids' day at the ballpark?
Actually, I was actually thinking about this today as I was walking over from the hotel. I remember my first year in minor league ball in 1997. Was the first time that I experienced a morning game. I think we actually started at 10 a.m. when I was in Modesto that year, and then sometimes they're at 11, sometimes they're at noon. And I remember at first I was like, what in the heck is this? And then you look at the attendance figures of what a school day matinee or a field trip day or whatever you want to call it, education day, and you compare that to what a Tuesday would be like, and you say, well, you know, the numbers don't lie from an attendance standpoint. So that's number one. And then anytime that you can expose your product to kids, that is a really good thing. So that's really smart. You know, there's a few things that Major League Baseball is trying to do with these. Number one is to limit them. You're only allowed to have, I think it's 2 or maybe it's 3 per year. And there's also a rule about if the game starts at 11 a.m., then the previous night you have to start at 6 p.m. The previous night you start at 7 p.m., then you have to start at noon, you know, based on those types of factors. I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of starting a series with an 11 a.m. game, especially since we arrived in Oklahoma City at 11 p.m. last night. You know, so some things like that are not ideal. Overall, it's good for the sport to play these games. It's nice to have a night off. It's good to have kids get exposed, you know, but there still needs to be a few more tweaks with these things.
Yeah, fair enough. Your club is hitting the baseball. They win on Sunday 16-8. They scored 11 runs and a loss on Saturday. They scored 8 runs and a loss on Friday. The offense has been there, and certainly Winton Bernard, who was named PCL Player of the Week.
Yeah, no, the offense is cranking up right now, and now we get Alan Trejo, who last year was the team MVP and voted, you know, best defensive player by his teammates. We get him back from the majors, and we get Herdis Montero back from the major leagues as well. So we get our number 3 hole hitter back, and we get our MVP back, and we get our opening night starter back, and Ryan Feltner. So I like the makeup of the squad. As always, though, guys, the question is, can they hit on the road? Can they hit at sea level the way they hit at altitude? These are the numbers for you boys, and it's the exact same number of games, 12 at home and 12 on the road. At home, 355 batting average. On the road, 223. At home, 114 runs. On the road, 49 runs. So we'll see if, I mean, the numbers are always drastic, but this year in a small
Startling.
sample size, the numbers are massively drastic.
Yeah, that's startling. Josh Sushan is the voice of the Isotopes and Dodgers here in a few minutes from Oklahoma.
And that's the multi-million-dollar question. It's what was brought up with Todd Helton, Clint Hurdle in town about hitting away from your home ballpark. And you said it, the numbers are going to be different, but there's just such immediate split, especially those first few games on the road. And this is just a mindset that these guys have to attack with.
I mean, there's a lot of things that go into it, and the Rockies are going on 30 years of this, and there's been minor league baseball played in Albuquerque and in Denver for however 7-8 decades here. I think that this year the numbers are skew even more for the Isotopes for a couple of reasons. Number one, all of our games have been played at sea level on the road, whereas in the past we usually get some road games in Reno or Salt Lake early in the season, so the numbers don't skew as bad because those are also high-altitude places. They also skew because it was really cold when we were here in Oklahoma City to begin the season. It was very windy. The wind was blowing in. Same thing in Round Rock. The wind was blowing in. That was a bunch of low-scoring games. Then you go to Albuquerque, and while it's been windy, it didn't really impact the offense too much. There's a lot of different things that they're trying. They try to bring the slider machine on the road so they can get used to the spin. They've tried to just go really high velocity fastballs on the road in order to just get your timing down from that point of view. If there was a simple answer, they would have tried it a long time ago. And, they're going to keep trying to see if they can figure out a way to do it in Albuquerque and Denver and any place else where there's a huge difference.
Josh, what were the team saying about last week? Clint Hurdle, Todd Helton in town, and there was some excitement in the dugout when Todd Helton got thrown out of a game because DJ Peterson got called out on third strike without ever swinging the bat. But just the emphasis this season and having guys like that in town.
No, it was really fun. Clint Hurdle, multiple guys said this to me. You always hear him before you see him, right? I mean, he's just a big, booming voice, such a presence. And, he's fun. He's got so much knowledge. And, when he comes into town, you're excited that he's there. And then Todd Helton, I think as the week went along, Todd got more and more just, not that he was uncomfortable when he arrived, but he just got more and more just being around the guys again, and even some players might feel a little bit intimidated going up to him initially. And then, around him for a couple of weeks, and you just have these natural conversations in the cage or on the field in the dugout, and that leads to more and more conversations. And, one thing that I always liked so much about being a Dodgers affiliate is that they just always had all of these legends who they just sent around the minor leagues so that you could just feel their presence and feel the history of the sport. And I love that the Rockies are doing that. I love that they're doing that with Todd Helton and with Clint Hurdle. I hope they continue to do more because while they may not have as big of a tradition as the Dodgers do going back since they're a still relatively new expansion team, they've got some legends, and it's fun to have those people out to just talk baseball and understand the history of what it means to be, with the Rockies and just to talk baseball and just to hear the stories. And so it's so much fun.
Josh, this is exactly where I was thinking. Having those guys in, and it shouldn't have felt as foreign as it did. And I thought exactly like you did, back to when the Dodgers were the affiliate, it was so common to have somebody coming through. How did it resonate with the players? Because maybe it'll be more common. Maybe that's something that the Rockies are looking to do. But did the players understand that, wow, this is pretty cool and appreciate it?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Sometimes I just try to be like a fly on the wall on the field during batting practice and just kind of observe how our guys interacting. And so you could see guys come over and talk to Todd Helton. And even, I think at one point Scott Schebler walked over to him and he said hey, when you got 2 strikes, what were you thinking? So just to see them and watch them pick the brain of guys like that, and then to see them in the clubhouse and the number of people hey, Todd, can I get a photo with you, right? So when you see those things, look, ball players understand really good ball players, and Todd Helton's a borderline Hall of Famer, right? He got a little over 50% of the last vote. And shoot, what those two guys meant in the 2007 run to the World Series, I hope the Rockies continue to do. I hope they send Vinny Castilla to us. I hope that there's a whole lot more that they continue to do, because that stuff matters. It matters that you get it in your heart as a minor leaguer, as a coach, as a player, as a broadcaster. This is what it means to be part of the organization. I think it strengthens the bond that guys have to their employer when they're down in the minor leagues, when those legends go around. I agree with you, Jeff. It's important, and it was super cool.
No, I remember even at the short season A level, when the Dodgers used to send guys through in Yakima, it was a big deal. All right, music tells me we're done. That means you're up here in a minute. Have a great call. Enjoy the trip, and thank you for spending some time with us, Josh.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
No, it's great to talk with you. Josh will be up here in a few minutes with the pregame show from Oklahoma. That's it? You mean we're done?
We're done.
All right, dude. I'll check you out on Thursday. I got stuff tomorrow morning here, so I'll be back in studio with you on Thursday. Marie, welcome back. Great work. It's good to have you back.
Thank you.
Adrian, tremendous work on the TV side. If you haven't taken a look at what they do on ProView with this show, it's really nice. Jim Rome Show is next. The Herd with Colin Cowherd. No, that's not right. Baseball's next, and then you get some of the Jim Rome Show and Colin Cowherd and Two Men On at 4. We're back tomorrow morning with more award-winning radio. Be good to each other, please. Oh, big day for you?
Huge day.
Of course it is. Enjoy it. Be good to each other, please. Be kind, loving, caring, and sharing.
Save just by being you. DriveWise and the Allstate mobile app gives you personal
Chicken and Ribs, proud supporter of ProView Sports Network.
Hey, welcome to the program. We have a big show for you today. Very excited to have future Lobo, current Volcano Vista Hawk, Kennedy Brown in the studio as my guest. Kennedy, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Man, you when do you ever have off time, right? I mean, 'cause soccer, basketball, it seems like you're always playing till the end of the season. What's that like, just having so many things to do?
Honestly, I enjoy it. It's been like that since I was little, and I'm pretty used to it. That's pretty much how my whole family kind of runs, is no stopping. So, I mean, I like it a lot.
What's the transition like from one to the other?
So soccer will start early in the fall, and then kind of summertime just to get ready for it. And then you just jump right into basketball. And it's pretty easy. I mean, just skill-wise is really what you got to work on.
Right. So you're basically Superwoman is what you're telling us. Like, I'm lucky when I'm wearing matching socks. But you're just basketball, soccer, it's interchangeable, just whatever.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
It cannot be that easy, though.
It's not. I feel like I've been doing it for
Right.
enough time where I'm pretty used to it. I could understand, like, how it is difficult, but I don't know. I feel like that's what I enjoy the most, is just always having something to do.
Right. Now, senior year, going to your senior year, we're talking soccer now. Pretty big weight off your shoulder, knowing that you're already set going to UNM, right? Did that make how does that make things easier?
That was pretty much my goal, like, going into this year, is I really just want to be able to, like, enjoy my high school and club experience, because the recruiting process was really hard and, like, stressful for me. So I wanted to commit earlier before the school year, so then high school was very much like just enjoying the last, like, time spent with my friends.
So for a dope like me, explain the difference between club and high school. What are the differences? Beyond the obvious, but what are the differences as far as competition, as far as getting noticed, which always people talk about, right? What are the differences?
So for high school, it's always like in New Mexico. College coaches can't come to your games because of there's like a certain rule and a certain date where things get lifted. So if they wanted to come watch, like me as a senior, they could, but they're not necessarily allowed to watch juniors, sophomores, or freshmen, which contradicts that, and they could get in trouble.
Right.
So as in, like, club, you're on a team with strictly your age group. So once you're, like, of that age, then that's where, like, all the colleges will go, and you travel a lot. So I think we traveled, like, at least 15 times this year, so we're always
Right.
out and about, which is more exposure,
So
obviously.
it sounds like it would be hard to get recruited just out of high school then.
It's very difficult. I mean, it's rare to find girls that want to play at the next level who are just playing high school
Right.
soccer.
And was it always a dream to play for the Lobos? What was that dream when you were growing up?
Yeah, I mean, I always knew I wanted to play college, whether that have been basketball and soccer. That decision kind of came later, but UNM, I've been going to their camps since I was in middle school, and I've always, like, seen my friends grow up and play there, so love the coaches, and yeah, I've always wanted to go there.
And they've always had a pretty good program, and they've always had a few locals. Does that certainly help kind of foster that image, like, yeah, I could stay home and play?
Definitely. I mean, being able to talk to people that you're really close with in high school, I mean, that helps just kind of understanding the culture and what they're about.
So tell us about the call, when you got the call, when they said, yeah, we want you.
I was actually at a camp the day before, and then a lot of my teammates, we always just go, whether, like, some of them will go just for fun, just because our whole team's going, but I was emailing them, calling them a lot, and it was a really long process for me, actually, because of the whole COVID situation. But I talked to Coach Heather at the camp, and then she was like, can we have a meeting tomorrow? And then that next day is when I committed.
Okay. What, did you go by yourself? Did you
It was me and
family
my
go?
dad.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right, okay. What about, I mean, is there a school that could have sweet talked you away from UNM?
I don't think so. I really wanted to stay. I feel like my biggest thing was staying near my parents and
Right.
my brothers. So.
So again, that made your senior year a lot easier. So take us through your senior year. I mean, obviously you had a good year, 13 games, you scored 12 times, 5 assists. So take us through that senior year.
So it was super enjoyable. We had a kind of a big senior class, some new transfers, so it was fun. I think going into it, I knew that I kind of had to help the younger girls out, which sometimes it could be difficult, but it was pretty, like, this team was super enjoyable this year, and we had a lot of success. I think we could have gotten more out of it, but overall it was fun.
Hat trick against Mayfield. That had to be pretty special.
It was fun, yeah.
Tell me about that.
So I actually played center back, so it's kind of like when I score, normally it's not a lot. So that was kind of fun about the high school thing is I could recover if something would have happened, because normally for club I'm strictly in the back. So scoring a lot this year is kind of surprising, but that's what everybody loves to do. So.
Okay. We're going to take a break. I do want to talk about how COVID kind of impacted everything, right? Because that did wipe out your junior year of soccer, right? So I want to get into that, and then, of course, we'll switch gears to basketball more with Kennedy Brown right after this. Back with Volcano Vista's Kennedy Brown. We talked about your junior year got wiped out because of COVID. So what was that like? What did you do to stay ready at that point? And what did that do to you mentally? Did you kind of think that would affect your progress? I mean, because everyone kind of treats it different. So tell me how that affected you.
So during that time, obviously we couldn't play or really practice here in New Mexico. So I was playing with a team out in Phoenix. So every weekend I would drive out with one of my parents, and I would play 2 or 3 games out there and then just drive back that Monday. And school was online, so I really didn't miss that much, which was the nice part about it. So I would just come back, get my work done, and then it would pretty much every week I would go out and play.
So you stayed pretty ready then. It didn't really affect you much, but obviously teammates, you didn't see them as much probably, right? So
Yeah.
what was that kind of like?
It was hard because we were in pods, so practicing soccer with like 3 or 4 girls, there's not really much you could do. So it was all just like skill-wise, and then our coach would send us workouts, and we'd have to send like videos and like scores and that kind of stuff back.
What can you do in a pod
Yeah.
system for soccer? I mean, what did that look like?
It was a lot of like literally just passing and dribbling and cones, and you had to stay social distance. You couldn't really touch each other, like that kind of stuff. You couldn't share the same ball, so it was difficult. It was a lot of on your own.
So kind of like when, like in the World Cup, when you're not allowed to touch Messi, you're not allowed to touch
Yeah.
Ronaldo, you can't get near him. Kind of like that, then, right?
Exactly,
Okay, all
pretty
right. See,
much.
I get it. Okay. Did it affect you in any way? When you thought moving forward, like, did this hinder you at all, or you just kind of got through it?
I was really stressed recruiting-wise because everybody got an extra year. So a lot of coaches and teams only needed at least like 1 or 2 from our class as of last year, because they didn't know who was going to come back and what their roster and that kind of stuff was going to look like. So getting on the phone and like talking to people, it was like, oh, we have about 7 in your position, and a lot of them
Right.
are underclassmen. So that was the stressful part. But
What about, this might be a really stupid question. I'm already regretting it, but is there a soccer transfer portal?
yeah.
Okay, so there is. Okay.
Yes.
So that hurts as well, right? So you have COVID plus the
Mhm.
transfer portal. That really hurts high school kids getting recruited in any sport, right?
Yeah, it was super hard for our class, and luckily our club does a really good job of working with us and reaching out to coaches when we weren't able to. So that was a blessing, obviously.
What does that look like? Getting your name out there, getting your film out there. That's probably the number one question I get asked a lot is, hey, how do I get film out there? So what did that look like for you?
So our coach,
Your club coach.
club coach made us we had to do a spreadsheet. So we had to email at least like 50 colleges, and it had to be like a certain percentage of like Division I, Division II,
Okay.
Division III, NAIA. and it was like a monthly thing, and then it was for every single tournament that we went out to, we would send emails to certain schools that we
And
were
so
interested
what goes in? Hi, my name is.
Yeah.
Here's some film. I mean, take me through everything.
You would say, hi, my name is, you try and put like your GPA, like
Okay.
your position, your club, like position versus high school, what you're capable of, and then you try and like sneak in an interesting fact so they remember you. Like that's the main thing is put
What's
something
your-
in there.
What's your interesting fact?
I think that it was something about what I wanted to major in and how I got into it. So it was like I want to major in nursing, and it was because of my little brothers and
Okay.
like them growing up. So
Okay.
yeah, that was.
All right, let's shift to basketball if we could. First thing I want to ask you is, so you're on this team with arguably two of the best players in the state of New Mexico, right? Natalia and Jalen. Now you guys add to the fold just fantastic up-and-comer in TT, but
yeah.
Almost universally, everyone talks about how you're the glue that holds that team together. That's got to be pretty cool.
It is. I mean, it's a blessing, and they make it easy, which is the nice thing.
Right. So what goes into that responsibility?
Just trying to maintain our like healthy culture, because I feel like that's what we thrive on is just how close we are as a team. Obviously, growing up with literally every single one of them helped, but I think that was like my main focus is just making sure we had our heads on straight.
Right. And it's phenomenal. I looked up some stats, and your stats pretty much the same every year.
Yeah.
Right? Like like almost like shockingly so. I'm like, is this right? And I mean, it just kind of shows the steady hand that you always had on that team, right? Did that come to you easily? Were there times where it was difficult?
I think I pretty much knew my role on the team, and I don't have a problem with it. I mean, like maybe if I don't want to say if we were like not as good, but you know what I mean. Like
Right, well, that wasn't an issue.
yeah, I knew exactly what needed to be done, and I kind of I was fine with that role,
Right.
and I had good enough players around me to obviously
Right.
be able to achieve that.
But then when people start saying, hey, like, Kennedy's kind of the glue that, the straw that stirs the string, that had to be pretty cool because not always, the role players not always recognized, but you did it at such a high level that people really saw that.
Yeah, that was nice because sometimes, I mean, you can kind of get discouraged because my stats aren't there, like, but I never really thought that was a big deal. I knew, like, underneath, my teammates obviously, like, told me how important I am to them, and, like, just the reassurance was.
Right. So, like, I totally geek out when it comes to team culture and dynamics, right? I think that's how teams win is
Yeah.
culture and team dynamics. So why were you guys so close?
So I grew up with TT, Angelin, Jalen, Tolly, and Savannah. So I mean, our six, like right off the bench, right, or starters and all that kind of stuff. We've been this close since we were in first grade. Like it wasn't a hard adjustment in high school. So I mean, it made it easy being able to play.
What about getting new players in the program, and how do you get them into that culture and keep things rolling?
Yeah, our goal was just to be as welcoming as possible to everybody. I think we experienced different things as freshmen, and we knew exactly what we wanted to kind of give back to everybody else because we were treated well. So.
Okay, 90-9, right? If my record keeping is correct, in the 4 years, that is amazing. Like, I don't want to ask you about the 90. I want to ask you about the 9. What did it feel like when you lost? If you only did it 9 times.
I mean, it was a heartbreak. We think about it. I probably like once a week, and we'll name them all. We'll name all the teams you lost to because we remember. We always talk about we wish we could go back to freshman year because that's where 6 of our losses
Right.
were, and we're like we should have been better. And I mean, as freshmen, it's hard going into like that adjustment, especially from middle school ball and that kind of stuff.
Right.
But we think about it a lot.
All right, well, we'll pick that up after the commercial break. We'll talk about that a little bit because you guys came in as a group and everyone said, hey, you're kind of the next dynasty, right? But there was a current dynasty already in place when you guys were freshmen, right? And so you kind of went into their place slowly but surely. So I want to pick it up there when we get back with Kennedy Brown. We're back with Kennedy Brown of the Volcano Vista Hawks. We're talking hoops right now. We got all of our soccer stuff out of the way already. Did you guys feel, as a freshman group, there were already these expectations on you?
I feel like it was there somewhat, not to the point where we were overwhelmed, but like we knew what we were capable of.
So any growing pains as a team? I mean, you talked about the 6 losses, but even that is Pretty impressive, right?
Yeah.
But what were the growing pains behind the scenes?
I think just understanding that like every single person on the team matters, and before it was just our AAU team playing, and everybody was super good, so everybody kind of got their own in like a sense. But moving into high school, it takes multiple different people and personalities to be able to be successful.
All right, let's fast forward a couple of years to, I want to go to the buzzer beater against Hawks, right? Take us through that. Where were you on the court?
So they just hit a 3, and I inbound the ball. So I inbounded it to Tali. Tali thought we were tied. She was trying to dribble the clock out, and I was like, so I ran to the ref and called a timeout because Coach was screaming at the other side of the court. So we drew up our play, and I was the inbounder again, and we had our little Jalen and Tali was the goal to get into their hands.
Okay.
So Natalia ran to me. I just passed her, and I was yelling. I was like, just shoot it, it. And she shot it. So I think I was underneath our basket and just like dead bullet straight to her.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you think it was good in the air? Or
I was so far off to like the left that I really wasn't paying attention. Like I was just like kind of looking around the whole court rather than just staring at the ball. So I was like looking at I think I was looking at Jalen's reaction, and then I was like, oh, like okay, that actually went in. So that was kind of where I was.
What about the whirlwind after it, right? It's on ESPN, it's in the New York Times. What about all that?
I mean, that was insane. Like we didn't know that was gonna happen.
Right.
Like it was a big deal to us, but we didn't know that like anybody else would really care in like that sense. But that was super exciting, and it kind of just, I feel like, gave us more motivation for this year.
Right. Speaking of this year, what was the mindset around the team? I think very early on in the season, I kind of went out and said, hey, this is going to be a coronation. This is not going to be a season. Like, this is Volcanoes Toulouse. Can anyone give them a game? No, I don't think so. And I think more and more as the season went on, people started to say that, right? Obviously, you had to hear some of that.
We did. It was a lot in our ears, actually, just trying to say that like we should already be in the state championship and that kind of stuff. And I mean, sometimes it gets to you, but for us, like we knew that's exactly where we were going to be. So I don't think it really altered our.
So was it different at all going into a season where the expectation was, state championship, but a realistic expectation was also an undefeated season, right?
Yeah, so it was a lot of pressure, honestly. And I think we felt that since our first practice, but as a team and us together, we understood that like if anybody could handle it, it was us. And I think that's what we got together. We had a team dinner the game before, the day before our first game, and we made a poster and we wrote all of our goals out, and it was just like a Metro championship, district championship, and a state championship, and then everything that it would take for us to get there. And that's what we achieved this year. So.
Right. I want to talk a little bit about the emotional part of the season, which is obviously Papa, right? I mean, the way he brought that community together, both basketball teams, boys and girls, and really the whole sports community there at Volcano Vista. Did you expect that? I mean, did you see that happening organically? Like, it seemed like every week it was getting bigger and bigger, and more people supporting and more people just kind of aware.
I mean, it was amazing, and that was our goal from the start. Like, even when he was first diagnosed, we just wanted to make it more rare because it's a super like under talked about disease, so nobody really understands what it is. And a bunch of people actually like asked me this year, like, why are you wearing purple? What does it stand for? And that kind of stuff. So it was amazing to see.
What does it stand for to our audience?
Multiple system atrophy. So it's a disease like off of Parkinson's, but it's like a less common one. So he was fully aware of everything, but his whole body would shut down. So that was kind of what would happen, and nobody was aware of it. And it was hard for us, obviously, but it was amazing to see how much it brought us together, not only as a basketball team, boys and girls, but just like as our school. Our school really helped us represent him in a positive way.
What about, I know you talked about the way your family is, and I've seen it, right? I'm pretty close with Greg and Danny, obviously. It had to be strange just not seeing him there because he literally goes to everything.
It was hard. It was different. And I remember the first game of the season, I was like, okay, like we got to do this now. Like we got to play for him. And I think me and my little brother, it was his freshman year this year, and he told my papa, he was like, we're going to win state for you. And I promise you that. Like, we're going to win state. Everybody knows it. We're going to put our hearts out on the floor. And I think that was the boys' goal this year, and that was our goal. And we weren't going to let anything get in that way.
You know, and we did the game where Sandia played Volcano on the boys' side, and obviously Danny gave a great speech. But probably the most impressive is how strong your grandma was during this season. And just seeing her, what did that do for you? I mean, to see how strong she was through this, that has to play a large part in your development as a young woman, because now you see this role model, the head of the family here, right? And she's just always so strong whenever I saw her. And the way she navigated this has to be
100%.
incredibly inspirational to you.
She's an amazing woman. Like, I couldn't do it. She does. Doesn't miss a game. If she's not at our game, she's at my uncle's game. She's at my dad's game. Most supportive person, obviously. Like, she is amazing in every single way. And yes, the strongest woman that I know.
Well, we know Papa's watching ProView Networks, right?
Of course.
Kennedy, thank you so much for coming in. Good luck at UNM. It's really cool to get to see you at home just across the way here. And I know you'll have a fantastic career there at UNM. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching, everybody, and good night.